Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and a link in the info box below the video once it has rendered. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show, as sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show, and one last time, if you are new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by John, Sleeping Warrior, and Arwin. How are you all doing, gentlemen?
Yeah, good afternoon. Doing
Good
great.
afternoon, good evening, good morning.
So that was a pretty abrupt cutoff that happened this morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, just power cut.
Yeah, we were wondering like for a while, like what's going on? Did somebody hack Nathan's computer or something? But
Nah.
yeah, power failure.
nothing of the sort, just a big power cut. Everything died, and you're like, oh no! And I tried to flip the switch back up, but obviously it just got too hot and wouldn't click back into place, so I just had to wait 10 minutes, and by then it's too late. So I just thought, forget it, I'll just have another one this afternoon.
Yeah, also pretty interesting was how suddenly, out of nowhere, the Hangout had like 333 downvotes, like instantly. Floop. Notice that?
Yeah, occasionally you have these increases in up or down votes. I don't pay a great deal of attention. Thank you for interacting with my content, for all those who like or dislike. Dislike if you dislike the show, like if you like it.
Yeah, a vote is a vote, so...
Clearly lots of people didn't like that show. Oh well.
Yes, no.
Today's show is today's show.
Yeah. I know a certain other individual that didn't really like the content. That individual being named Nick. And had a pretty interesting comment interaction afterward. And then he just deleted it. Deleted the entire thing. It's pretty sudden.
Why would he do that?
Well, maybe because he actually figured out that I was right and he was wrong. And it made him look like a total fool.
So rather than just giving a concession and saying, oh, I was incorrect about that, he deleted the thread. What a coward.
Yeah. Well, he did get pretty rude, sorry. And he made some very stupid statements. He even cited the Oxford Dictionary and then said the center of rotation is the center of the Earth in the case of a spinning ball. But yeah, in that very quote that he actually used of the Oxford Dictionary, it didn't actually use the word ball at any point. So he was basically seeing balls where there were none, which I find very, very typical.
Well,
Yeah,
Nick is a
Nick likes
fantasist.
balls.
Yeah, he sees things that are not there. That's the definition of a fantasist.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not the definition, but that's certainly the definition in his case.
So come on, Nate, tell us what happened this morning.
I've just said there was just a power cut. It was nothing untoward in the slightest.
Oh, I missed it. I was doing something.
Yeah, nothing exciting.
So,
just a power
I've
cut.
heard a rumor.
Oh, okay. It was something else. What have you heard?
The Beeloo people. It's a no-show on Globebusters, apparently. Their chance to redeem. They've turned it down and bailed, it sounds like.
Well, they
Just
might
a
turned
rumour.
it down because they've
Don't
been
judge me.
slagged off by the people who originally supported them. Could be the reason. You don't jump to conclusions.
Well, if they don't turn up and give a fair account for what's gone on, I think we should all Burn them at the stake.
Maybe.
I think Bilu ordered them not to respond.
Yeah. Hang on a sec.
Beeloo.
But I think I really caught up onto something with my centrifugal force concept on the Earth, because otherwise I would have gotten some kind of counter response. And I think that deleting the comment is kind of a recognition that they're completely cornered in this concept, and that what I described disproves that it is a spinning ball.
Yeah. Nate, the answer to your question is yes. The other thing is, I think I might be wrong, but based on what I saw you commenting in the masturbate chat, that I think he was describing centripetal force as centrifugal. Might be wrong, but that seemed to be what he was describing to me. So, Nick, you have no evidence, you have no L, and you have no centrifugal. Hillel Finder is due to come on, I believe. Apparently, we have progress on the molten iron state of the Earth. You know, the evidence that Paul Voigt hasn't got any of, and the evidence that GeoStreamer doesn't have any evidence of, and pretty much anybody else on the Ballers side. Apparently, they found a way around it, and Hillel Finder is out there lurking with intent. So if anybody knows how to get into Hillel, give him a shout. Let him know that we're on. In fact, actually, I think I can get hold of him. Maybe.
Yeah, but this is so funny. Nick is in chat now saying that it's an hourly occurrence for flatties to make mistakes.
Yeah,
But
we have to
you do
actually
have
admit
to
to it, though.
kind of now
What we don't do
concede.
is just delete the video and say, that never happened, which is what Nick essentially did. Just deleted the comment because he was wrong, which is the coward's way out.
Kind of is. But also, you have to now concede that because I was right, it's not a spinning ball. Because people outside of the equator would be standing at an angle, maybe a very slight angle, but all things like helium balloons on strings, they would all stand at a slight angle. And that's not what we get to see in the real world now, is it? So that's just that one.
Did the link go public?
Yeah, I think we're public straight away.
I didn't realise it was actually public. That was naughty Chris. Do you realise that Chris is trying to blackmail, bully, and control? He wants to come back in, and he said that until you give him permission to come back in, he's going to.
It's me.
Hey.
Keep doing shit.
Oh, he can. I can't control that, can I? So I've got no comment on that regard. I'll just go and get Arwen and John back in.
So does Tim have any evidence for us today, or is it all rhetoric and logic and reason?
So I did want to say logic and reasoning. That's very important for determining really anything as a human being. But I did want to say we did have a conversation a while back about the P900, and you said that it basically can't do star trails. And I just wanted to make the point, since we are on the conversation of the Southern Hemisphere getting. What's up, Chris? And he's gone. Getting star trails, there's actually a star trail feature on the P900. So you go to scene.
I said that it was
What's
crap
up?
at it. I didn't say you couldn't get it. I said that it was crap at it if you've got any low-level light pollution, because the sensor on it isn't particularly good. So there are better cameras to get star trails. I didn't say you couldn't get it. I just said it was crap.
I'm not going to go back to troll through all the conversations we had, but it definitely. I mean, really, when you take photography of the sky, you should go to a higher, a better place, I guess you could say. So you can get star trails really easily. This is even with from in the city, so you can see stars easily, and it'll take a long exposure of them. So P900 is more than sufficient to do it. And like this, I kind of want to make this point that this is a nighttime picture and I can't even see these mountains, but it's a high exposure. So you can actually see the mountains. I can't even see these right now. And this looks like the sun up here. That's actually the moon. So this goes to the point of what I've been trying to say for a while, where the Morgile thought that the moon was the sun, and this is a high altitude balloon with decent exposure settings that is showing stars from very high up, and that looks like the sun because of the settings. So, and that is exactly why you can actually see the stars in this video. So he thought it was the sun because he's a very bad researcher.
Well,
But anyway, what's up?
it's just a mistake. I mean, we all make mistakes. I mean, Nick Held made
No,
one
that's
before.
fine. He did actually make a retraction video. Not the one where he was in a bathroom asking for money or anything. But but
super
this is
chat.
clearly, you can see the stars from high altitude. So I just wanted to make that point.
That's pretty
It's been said
interesting
many
from that
times that you
footage.
can't. So
That's pretty
Okay.
interesting because in that footage, you say that's the moon, and I'm perfectly fine with that explanation. But that would also mean that those stars around the moon kind of disprove that theory that you can't, that you can't see stars around the moon because the moon is so bright. Because I kind of see stars around it. It was brought up some time ago. So
you can see the stars through the moon? Is that what you're
no,
saying?
no, around them. Like it was argued that because of the brightness of the moon, that you can't see the stars surrounding it. But I can clearly see stars pretty close to the moon there. So
Tim,
I
why
don't
think-
know. I've
why-
never made that point, and you kind of just jump on things disproving things without even really thinking about it.
oh,
I don't know
really?
what point you're
So
making there.
would you not concede that the Earth is not spinning because centrifugal force would push things outside of the equator towards the equator slightly?
He's never going to concede that. Come on.
So the
Tim.
one rotation per day, you'd think that it would move everything to the center because of that?
Now it wouldn't like push it like with a great super heavy force, but it would definitely create some force that could be measurable, and things like balloons filled with helium on strings would not go straight up, except for in the equator. They would be bending slightly towards the south.
So in the spherical
Measurably.
model, everything is pulled towards the center of mass, which would be the center of the Earth, where there's liquid hot magma
Yeah,
and
yeah,
a nickel
I know the
iron
gravitational
core.
pull theory, but the thing is that if the Earth is spinning, then there's still centrifugal force, which is a strong force which does not adhere to gravity, which can be proven
Doesn't.
well by how gyroscopes work. They don't adhere to gravity either. Once you
What
spin
kind of
up a
gyroscope are you
gyroscope,
talking?
no matter the angle of the gyroscope spin, it's going to stay exactly the same. No matter what
Dude,
kind of
you
force you
don't know
apply
the
to it.
first thing about gyroscopes. What does a pendulous
Oh,
vane
of
do?
course I don't know, because I can't do that experiment myself like anybody else.
What does a pendulous vane do?
The air into momentum.
Sorry?
What does a pendulous vane do?
Well, on your model, the pendulous vane is the correction.
Well, I didn't ask you, Anthony. This guy's an expert in gyros. I just wanted to know what a pendulous vane does.
Never said he was an expert in gyros. Tim, come on, play fair.
No, I just wanted to know what kind of level he's researched into gyros.
Tim,
Do you know what that is,
Well,
Arwen?
I know there's
Drawing
been
wallpaper?
mentioned some sort of correction system that's supposedly going to correct gyroscopes to account for the curvature, but I've also heard testimony of people that were in planes that had that very system broken down, and the gyroscope just functions perfectly without it. So I think that's a complete machination. It's a false piece of engineering That's just there
Oh, and I
to
think your
suggest the
favorite
globe.
word is machination for some reason. But please, dude, you got to do research into things before you make claims.
False
You don't know
engineering,
anything
as
about
in something
gyros.
that was made up and doesn't actually do anything.
So what do you
Doesn't
think
do
about the ring
anything
laser
real. It's
gyro
just there to
that
suggest a
Glowbusters
certain
had
model.
and used in the 15 degree per hour? What do you think about that?
Hasn't
Sorry?
Globus been very clear on what their position is on that?
Well, yeah, because they got to stick with the narrative. They can't say that that's the Earth spinning. So of course they're going to say something. But I was asking Arwen, what do you think about the 15 degree per hour that Glowbusters found?
Oh, when referring back to Bob's explanation, don't try and do it yourself.
15 degree an hour. Is that the spin of the Earth?
Well, it would be to a rational mind, but to them it was the luminiferous ether, the 19th century fictitious force that they had to bring in.
Why couldn't it be that, Tim?
I'm not saying it couldn't be 100%, but that's just what they jumped to because, that's their narrative.
I'm glad you didn't denounce it, because the Elias effect is really a thing, apparently. According to science, it is anyway.
The Elias effect, the very rare occurrence. What is it, 18 times that's been documented, I think.
Yeah, but the point is, when there's no like the moon passing over the front of the sun, it reverses the electromagnetic effect, and the Elias effect is the demonstration that is the proof, or at least Globebusters say, is the proof that what you're seeing is not the rotation of the Earth; it is the electromagnetic ether. And on that basis, how could you prove or disprove it is or it isn't? None of us can.
This is kind of the problem of, and really, I think you're kind of like satirical in most ways, and like just, I don't know, is somewhat advantageous in some ways. But I'm just like, this is the problem with what you guys pitch, because you're going to go with alias effect, and you're going to go with all these different things that are like in Wikipedia. You're going to accept them, but all on the crux of not accepting the tons of different professions and sciences that go into the spherical Earth. So it's just like a pick and choose, cherry pick kind of worldview.
No,
Where
no, I
anything
don't.
that fits your narrative, you'll go with.
No, I actually adhere to very basic principles like centrifugal force, which is a very well worked out, detailed force that does not adhere to gravity.
Yeah,
You can prove that.
It's a speech from the Wiki King. Tim, you already know the Earth's not spinning. I showed you that a year and a half ago. What are you talking about?
You showed me how in Science for Scientism on Cathexis's channel.
A year and a half ago, I showed you.
No,
From
you
the
never.
Coriolis
Would
effect
we
with the
talk
flight.
about quantum physics, something that
With
you
the flight,
profess
the
to know a lot
Coriolis
about?
effect in the flights, Mr. Wiki, weapons grade Wiki.
I
Right?
don't even read Wikipedia, so you don't really know me that well, but you can go ahead and strawman me
Oh,
if
I
you'd
know you
like.
that well. You're a pretender clown. What's your
And
scientific
you're a fundy
evidence
Christian
for
flat
spinning
earther,
ball
so
religion?
what?
What's your scientific evidence for your spinning ball religion?
Evidence? Oh, there's plenty of evidence. Thank you for saying
Scientific
evidence instead of
evidence.
proof. So let's go ahead and
Scientific
go over this.
evidence.
So evidence is proof.
We already talked about proof and evidence yesterday. Go back and look at that video. What's
Yeah,
your
so you said
scientific
evidence is
of a
proof. Can
spinning
you
ball?
justify that in any way?
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
yesterday. Go
I
back
can
and watch the
justify that.
video.
Evidence can be
So-
proof, and it can also be negatory.
No, evidence is
Right.
not proof. That's the
Why
silliest
is
thing
I
that
evidence
just
Quantum
not
showed
Eraser
it
has
was
ever
yesterday.
said.
Go
Ever.
back and watch it.
Why is
I
evidence
just
not proof?
falsified your spinning ball concept by
Hey, Bilu.
proving that centrifugal force would be applied, which does not
Did you
conform
remove
to a ball shape,
quantum?
but conforms to a tube, as centrifugal force does.
No.
And that would cause this effect. It would absolutely do that, and you can basically emulate
This
this
is just
very
the new
easily.
kick of Arwen, okay? You're going to be on to something else like within a couple days. So your machination of the centripetal
it's a
centrifugal
machination, really.
force.
It's just basic physics, and it's machination. No, I don't do the machinations. I go back to the basics.
Come on, dude.
Basics, and I just use my visualization to think of how it would work, what would happen. I keep it basic because that's what I do. I like to do that. I like to experiment with just logical reasoning and critical thought. That's what I do.
So
I'm a theorist.
by what
And that's how
methods
I
do you
stumble
guys
upon
go
these
about
concepts like,
picking and
hey, if it
choosing
was
what science
spinning,
is real and what
then
science is
it
not?
should conform to the centrifugal force, which does not definitely not, it's not, centrifugal force is not negated by gravity.
So centripetal and centrifugal force are real forces, but gravity is not real and the Earth is flat. So
I
like,
never said that. Did
how
I
do you
say that
pick and
gravity is
choose
not
what
real?
science you wanna and physics you wanna like go with? How do you do that?
Which gravity? Which
No,
gravity,
but
Tim?
the thing is, centrifugal force can be proven to work. It can be very, very proven. You can experiment with it and see exactly what it does and prove that it does not conform to gravity at all. And I never said that gravity is not real. I never did that. I make it a very strong
motion of
point
planets.
that I do believe in
She's
gravity.
saying
I
that the
just
moon
say that
spins.
gravitational pull cannot be proved.
Which gravity?
Gravity is there. It's a
Debbie.
constant.
Which one?
Einsteinian or Newtonian? Which one?
That's what I'm asking you. Which one? You said gravity. Which one?
So actually, I wanted to go back to the question I asked you before about
Oh,
evidence
right. Of course
equals
you'd want to
proof.
go back
So
and
can you
revert back.
justify
What
that
question's
claim?
that?
Yeah, he
Let's
said
go
already he
back to
did
the question
yesterday.
of what is your scientific evidence for your spinning ball religion? That was the question
Well, thank
that
you
was asked.
for evidence. I do like that.
Right,
But let's
I
go
ask
back to
why the-
evidence is proof. So
Tim,
you said this yesterday, and I would like to clear this
Now
up.
let's
So
go back to
evidence is proof.
scientific evidence for your
Tim.
spinning ball religion, Tim.
Tim,
Give it to
let me
me.
ask.
You won't answer this, will you?
He did. He said he went through it yesterday.
why is there
So
a
he spent
difference
about
between
5
evidence
minutes with
and
lots of
proof?
people trying to obfuscate him, and he took them through it step by step.
So there's evidence of the Loch Ness monster. So there's proof of the Loch
Scientific
Ness
evidence?
monster.
Sorry, is the scientific evidence of the Loch Ness monster, Tim?
No,
Oh, right. Good job by Aste.
no. He said evidence equals proof. So like I said, there's evidence of Sasquatch. So there's
No, I
proof of
didn't say it.
Sasquatch.
Merriam-Webster said it.
Oh, okay.
So call Merriam-Webster.
So you're
and
looking
have
at
them change it.
synonyms and you say, oh, this equals this because it's a synonym.
What is the definition of a synonym?
Not all synonyms
Don't
are
worry, that's
complete
too hard for
matches,
you, Tim.
dude.
That's too hard for you.
It's not how
I'll
it
give you another
works.
question you can answer.
No,
How many
I'd like to,
does
let's
it
not
take
let
to
him
center-
obfuscate it, and let's go
Oh.
back to the question.
Well, does he know the
What
answer?
is
Do you know
your
what, do you know what
proof
the
for the
definition of
spinning ball?
synonym is, Tim? Do you actually know what the definition is of synonym?
Yes, but they're not exact matches. There are words that are synonyms that have similar meanings, but not exact meanings. You can use them interchangeably
That's the
sometimes and
definition
some
of a
not.
synonym, to be used interchangeably. That is the definition.
No, go look at the synonyms
No.
for many words. You can't use them interchangeably.
So you're
They're very
defensive.
close, but they're not
Nuh-uh.
exact.
That's riveting. So what is
Well, I'm
your
not the one saying that
scientific
evidence is
evidence
proof, and
for
I'm
your
also not a
spinning
fundy
ball
Christian
religion?
saying the Earth is flat with no evidence at all. What's your scientific evidence that the Earth is flat?
The lack of curvature.
That's a pretty stupid
I was talking
question,
to quantum.
Tim, because that's not a scientific question now, is it?
Well, you just asked me the same thing, but in reverse.
That's right, I did.
So are you being a
because
hypocrite?
You keep on trying to answer it when you should have already exposed it as what? It's an inappropriate question because the scientific method deals with cause and effect relationships. Is the shape of the Earth or the spin of the Earth a cause and effect question or a what is question?
Are we going on evidence or are we going on the scientific method? I thought those were
Talking about it, we're
kind
going
of
on evidence.
what?
The scientific method, right, is cause and effect. How can I put a shape into that question?
I don't know. What's your independent variable? What's your null hypothesis?
You can't have one. It doesn't.
So
fit
we
in
can't
the
make
scientific
observations
method, is what
without
I'm trying to
going
tell you
on Quantum
for about 2
Eraser's
years now.
scientific method.
What?
We can't make observations that would make logical deductions for the shape of the Earth without
Like
going and doing scientific method.
observation of a phenomena, right, Tim, is the first step of the scientific method. That's just the first one. You got a little more work to do. And
I'm
have
not
observed the Earth?
actually doing a scientific method for you at all for anything. I'm just saying there's an observation that can be made. Many
Oh,
observations
where's
that
the
would
what's
lead
the
one to believe
observation?
that
What's
the
the
Earth is a
phenomena
sphere.
you observe?
What?
What's the phenomena that you have observed?
I already said this like 7 times. I'm not doing a scientific method inquiry right now. I'm actually just saying I could just do
I'm
an
not.
observation
I'm
or
not
tell you
either.
about
You said it. You
observations.
said you observed something. I said, so what's the phenomena you observe?
The stars in the sky would be one. The sun, the moon would be another.
Okay.
Curvature, obstruction due to what we call curvature.
Curvature.
Let's see what
How'd
else.
you get there?
What?
Scientific evidence for curvature, please.
What are you talking in a tin can or like in a bathroom or something, dude?
Oh, here we
Get out
go.
of the shitter, bro.
Stupid
No, it's not. I mean,
add-ons.
it probably sounds like this to
Where am
everyone
I
else. I can hear
talking? What's
You
Anthony
the
can make
talking.
out
weather?
what he says, don't you? So why are you complaining? Why are you
Yeah, I can hear
obfuscating?
Arwen as well.
What's the
But he
weather?
sounds like
What's
he's in a
my
tin
favorite
can.
color? Right? You're a clown, man. You know it.
What are you on Skype for, Quantum? You one of the little gang, or?
Yeah, he got Skype because he got sniped.
You know what? I'm just wondering why so many ballers out there are actually bringing out all these new and old experiments as to prove why there is centrifugal force that is supposedly
Oh my God,
countering
dude.
the
Your
gravitational
machinations of
pull,
going on about
but then they
certain things at
cannot
certain
account
times.
for that the centrifugal force would actually not adhere to the core of the Earth. It would actually adhere to the spin motion, the axis of the spin in a tube shape, which would then logically push things towards the south slightly. And that's something
So
that
like
we
I said
don't observe.
before,
So
the
why,
theory
if
that we
they
go
are
on,
convinced that centrifugal force
gravity
counters
pulls
gravity, why
things.
are they then not convinced that it actually does push things aside? I'm just wondering, like, make all these experiments, but then they don't take in account the basics, very basic foundation of what centrifugal force is.
It's a beautiful non sequitur. I appreciate where your mind rolls off to, Arwen. I do. Trust me.
It's just basic physics.
Oh yeah, basic physics, like the
Yeah,
Earth being a
centrifugal
sphere, but
force.
you
It's a
deny that,
basic
right?
physical concept.
Tim, can I ask you a
Arwen,
question?
we're on different levels. Go ahead, Riley.
I'm sure we
I just
are.
want to pick you up on the evidence over proof issue. I do understand the difference, but I want you to tell me what you understand the difference to be. Why are they not being used interchangeably without it being semantical? Because they're almost the same. Why are they different?
Well, this is kind of a problem that we're facing. Science doesn't prove, it isn't setting out to prove anything, and this is like it's not accepted
You
by
don't
the
know what's well. Science doesn't set out to prove anything because it's not a being; it's a method. Science doesn't do anything. So
So
you're
science proves
it's a
things, though.
reification fallacy right off the bat. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Science proves stuff. Is that what you're saying? This is I was trying to make a overgeneralized point that Nathan and Riley probably don't believe that science in general doesn't set out to prove things.
You need to go back and watch yesterday's video where I listed about 10
I
things
don't
where it
listen.
does prove things. You want me to go over them again for you?
Yeah, I'd like that. Go over the 10 things, because, I mean, the thing with scurvy and vitamin C, that really resonated with me.
All right. So, Tim, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level. Combustion
That's
is
just
the
a
result of.
machination.
Hold a second.
No, you're just
Combustion is the
bullshitting,
result
Tim.
of oxidation reactions. The lack of insulin with type 1 diabetes patients results in ketoacidosis. The lack of vitamin C intake in humans results in scurvy. Knowledge of the which path information collapses the wave function, Tim. Boy, we're not proving anything here. Information is only created by intelligent agents.
He's just a
Photons,
parrot of his own
electrons,
nonsense. It's really
neutrons,
sad.
protons are all particles. Ice cream results from cream and milk, sugar and eggs, with stabilizers and emulsifiers than frozen. Photons are caused by electrons dropping down energy levels within an atom. Now, would you like me to go on for another 50 years?
They dropped.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting that, like the first half year that this has been going, all these ballers are just constantly telling us that we don't understand science. Yeah, we just didn't get into it. But now that we do understand science and we actually got to the nitty-gritty of it, suddenly it doesn't matter anymore because science doesn't prove anything.
But it does.
It's a
That's what the list
total
was.
soliptic
Just to make that clear, that's
reversal.
what that list was. A list of things that science has proven.
I just don't understand why there's an issue over the interpretation of the refusal to use evidence over proof interchangeably. I don't really
It
see
is
why it's an issue.
semantical because the word proof is used differently in it, but in a few different ways.
Yeah, I get the difference, but really they are interchangeable words for the vast majority of cases. I don't know why it's an issue that people are taking issue with it. Do you know what I mean?
It will come down to semantics in a few places.
I can tell you why they
debate.
take issue with it. The specific reason is they cannot prove Earth is curved. So therefore, they want to get semantical about the word proof.
No, they'll say we've got evidence that makes us fully confident.
Yeah, and when you test the quality of that
We haven't
evidence
proved
using
it.
the yardstick of science, you find that it is sorely lacking.
Sometimes.
Yeah, well, you have found gaps. I grant you that.
Yeah, but do you not agree though that just one gap is enough for you to realise that there's an issue?
No.
Hold on.
like,
Why is
the
it
main
just being
gap
why is this
recently,
being
you've shown that
downplayed
most
as a
normal
gap?
people
Hold
don't
on,
know what reflection is.
Why do you downplay that and call it a gap? There's no
It's just a
scientific
hole in your
proof of
theory,
Earth
in your
curve, and
model.
you see that as a little gap.
I don't think you found huge gaps in science. I think you found gaps in people's trust and faith and knowledge, and you've shown that people.
Yeah, because
You
there
know,
isn't any science. They've only got trust
what
and
you believe,
faith.
'cause
That's
you might
all
not
they've
actually
got.
know that.
That's all they've got, Dawn. That's what we're pointing out. There's no science for it, and you're saying, well, you're picking holes in their faith. No, we're highlighting the fact they've got a faith in the first place, because
Yeah,
99%
no, I
of these people assume they've got science behind them. The whole body of science,
we have
Rumpus
science
says.
behind us.
The whole body of science, according to Rumpus, is behind this theory, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a fact. It's a belief.
Well, that's
It's
the
a
debate.
model, and it doesn't work out.
Can I just
That's
ask a
the
question,
problem.
Dawn?
When the model
Yeah.
doesn't work out, that means that the model is incorrect.
Dawn, if somebody was charged with a murder and all the circumstantial evidence made it look like they'd done it, but there was one piece of evidence that proved that they couldn't have done it for whatever reason, doesn't matter what it is, but one piece of evidence proved that it was impossible that they could have done it, even though all the evidence points at them saying, yeah, he probably did it. Actually, there's one piece of evidence that proves that he didn't do it and he couldn't have done it. Do you go with the consensus of all the evidence, the preponderance of evidence, and convict the guy of murder? Or do you go, hang on a minute, that one piece there is a problem. The guy couldn't have done it.
It's different for everyone on the jury, I guess, isn't it? When they make their decision, if that one piece is more credible to them than all the other pieces on the other side, you have to weigh it up.
And
all the other circumstantial evidence pointed that he did it, but that one piece meant that he couldn't possibly have done it. Shout out PMAS.
Hi, science doesn't prove anything.
It tries to, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I already went over this with you guys. Science does not prove things.
Yeah,
did you not hear the lists that was just
Are
read
you-
out?
What?
Did you not hear that list?
Mars?
Let's just have
I'm
the
not
list
doing
again.
it again.
I
I already
don't
did it
mind. I
twice.
don't mind
Come
having it
on,
again.
Come
Alan.
on, this is.
Let's have it again. Let's have the list of things that science has proven again.
You want me to do it again?
Yeah,
Nah,
right now.
we got it.
Please.
Okay, I'll do it again. All right, here we go. Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level. Combustion is the result of oxidation reactions. The lack of insulin with type 1 diabetes patients results in ketoacidosis. The lack of vitamin C intake in humans results in scurvy. Knowledge of the witch path information collapses the wave function. Information is only caused by intelligent agents.
It's not proven, though.
Photons, electrons,
It's not
neutrons,
proven.
You can't
No.
falsify
You
that.
said-
are all
None of this stuff is
particles. Can I
proven.
finish, please? You asked me to do this.
This isn't proven, though. You're not saying anything that's proven.
That is proven.
No, it is
No,
proven.
it's not proven.
Yes, it is
go
proven.
get
You
out.
cannot
Not.
falsify it. You
Hold on,
cannot
can we not just have a
falsify it.
yes it is, no it isn't?
The idea that science proves things is a myth that you guys have fallen for.
No,
Right,
come
hang
on,
on, let's go
Mars,
with
you're,
that.
you're
To
being
dispel the
totally
myth and tell you
selective.
guys how
Come on.
science works.
Scientists,
Science does not prove
scientists
things. It simply
prove-
provides evidence.
Scientists prove it via the scientific method. Science doesn't do anything. It's only a method. It's a concept. Jeez, oh man. reification fallacy.
P-Mars, let me ask
Go
you
play
something.
poker.
P-Mars, let me ask you something. If science can't prove anything, why do you guys push that we live on a ball if you guys can't prove that we live on a ball?
Because we can justify the belief in the ball.
Science shows it to be true.
It's a justified belief.
Science shows it to be true.
Science
Does that
when
mean
it doesn't.
prove?
No, we've
choose
just had the best words that have ever come out of P. Mars's mouth, and everyone's talking over him. Absolutely correct. A justified belief.
Yeah.
I just don't get why this has become an issue. Like, guys, proof, evidence, they're virtually the same thing. Can we not
They
just
are the
use them
same thing.
interchangeably until it becomes important?
I think
No,
you should
but
use them how the
evidence
dictionary
is
defines them,
still
really.
up for alteration. Proof is undeniable. It's when it's proven, then it means that it's not disproven. You can't falsify it because it is proven, and until it's falsified, it's proof. That's
You
basically
can't
the
prove
difference.
anything, though.
Evidence,
Right.
it just like it says, it makes something evident. It
No,
shows that
No,
something
proof
that could
Right,
make it
let me put this
appear
into
like that
context.
could be the
definition of
case.
evidence, Arwen. Do you
Hmm?
want me to show you again?
Sorry, did I get it wrong?
Yeah, it's in
Oh,
the
okay.
definition. Let me go ahead and state the definition again. I don't even know where I put it. Hold on one. Evidence from Merriam-Webster, an outward sign, indication, something that furnishes proof.
Furnishes proof.
That's right. So
Yeah,
evidence
but
is proof.
that does that mean that it is proof? Doesn't it just point at certain proof? Isn't it just an indicator, something that could point at the direction that it could be true, but is not yet undeniable?
I'm not quibbling over this anymore. I mean,
Okay,
it's
sorry,
ridiculous.
just being me.
Yeah, the scientific evidence is scientific evidence, right? We have the definition for that, right? Scientific evidence, the testing of a hypothesis or a theory that is objective in a controlled environment. Wow, that's a shocker. That's the whole scientific method wrapped up into a sentence.
Yeah, look up furnishes, Arwen. Bring to an end. Complete.
All right. It's getting very, very nitty gritty.
When you get to
Well,
people
we
like
have to
Merriam-Webster,
because they bring up
aren't.
words.
They're careful with their words.
What's the first one on that list again? Because I've got someone disputing it.
The water boiling
proof.
one, you mean?
Yeah, apparently if you do it in a vacuum chamber, it's not the same. So that's not
Oh,
scientific
really?
proof.
Well, where's a natural vacuum?
A natural vacuum
That's
Yeah.
right.
at sea,
Because we're
at sea
talking
level.
science here. It deals with nature. So where's a natural vacuum at?
Should be an easy one for you, Globehead.
Sea level's not a natural vacuum. What are you on about?
That's what I'm saying. This is just a weird thing to ask for.
At sea
Well,
level,
there's also
water
natural.
boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit.
Not if it's in a vacuum
about-
chamber.
I'm
So
saying
in a
that that's not
vacuum
science
chamber?
because there is no natural
Do
vacuum.
you not believe in vacuum chambers, or do you think they
Vacuum
can't be built next
chamber.
to at sea level?
Oh my goodness
Oh,
gracious.
God.
Well, let's just make an addendum for that. Like, unless there is a
that's all I'm
container
asking for.
at sea level,
Or
then
maybe
in
wipe
that
that first one
case,
off the
there
list
it doesn't
completely.
work the same.
Let
It's-
me explain.
It's
Can I
pointing at
explain
an
something?
open environment.
Can I explain something to him? The scientific method deals with the natural world.
Yeah.
Show me a
Vacuum chambers are
natural
part of the natural
vacuum.
world. Sorry to tell you, but
And unfortunately, it's based on the presupposition that like the laws of physics won't change. But we know that
What's
we
based?
can't be sure that the laws of physics will behave the same way every time. So
What's
that's why
based
you
on
can't
that?
ever prove anything.
What's based on it?
What? P-Mars? Excuse me?
Hold on.
Is there any
before you
proof
all
that
get
the
into
laws
a
of
tete-a-tete,
physics
sorry,
have changed
I
over the
sorry,
course
Arwen,
of
to
history?
interrupt you. I just want one more thing repeated. So I'm sorry. I'm going to do this a lot with you, John. You can probably tell. So what is science again? A study of what?
The science is the study of the natural world.
The natural world, you say?
Yes.
So when I ask for proof using science of Earth curvature, being told that it's akin to asking to prove that you're a brain in a jar is preposterous.
Yeah.
Because we are talking about something that studies the world.
Yes.
Right. Just to get that clear for
Angles.
everyone watching and listening.
If somebody brings up, and this is another good one I ran into the other day, somebody said, okay, what's the phenomena you observed? And somebody said, angles. I said, what? Show me a natural angle. I want the chemical formula, structure, charge, mass, momentum, or spin, or the kilocalories, kilojoules, or millielectron volts of an angle.
Do you want to read that list again, Quantum? Because I might be able to get the others debunked.
You didn't debunk the first one.
What's number 2? Because we've done number 1.
Combustion is the result of oxidation reactions.
Oxidation reactions.
Oxidation reactions.
Combustion is the result of oxidation reactions.
Oh, that goes above my head. I'm not an expert
That's
on
basically
combustion.
it's
Or-
fire in all its forms.
Or you can stick with phlogiston. That's what you could roll with that. That's probably.
So
part
this
of
is
the
what we've.
spinning ball
I
when we
mean,
do
this
too.
is but so beneath you, John. Basically, what we've
Sure,
now
they're
got is
Googling debunks.
Dawn Treader trying to debunk proven science from a Discord chat. That's what we've got currently happening. This is sad.
That's-
Beyond sad.
You want to just accept those ones on his list without looking into it, Nathan?
Whatever.
They're experimentally validated, sir.
Yeah, we're trying to
Except
define
number
for
one,
you
which is just
scientific proof, right? So, there's a method, strangely enough, that you can use, Dawn, to debunk these things if you think they are untrue.
Yeah, I
You
just
know what
watched
that-
someone with a
have a
with
guess what that
homemade
method
vacuum
might be.
chamber at sea level
And what is
debunking
that?
number
What
1.
is that, by the way, Don? How would you go about doing that?
What, making a homemade vacuum chamber?
No, debunking the scientific evidence of my proofs right here. What would
Well,
you
we
need
did
to
number
do?
1, didn't we? I can send you the video if you like.
You didn't
We
do
did number-
one. There isn't a natural
did.
vacuum.
I've just
for
watched a
crying
video
out
of someone
loud.
with a homemade vacuum chamber at sea level.
Listen to him, homemade.
I just love this. I love this
That,
stuff.
that's not what we consider to be a
This is
debunking.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
so let's just say it again. So science is a study of the natural world, Dawn. The clue is in the word natural.
Vacuum chambers are part of the natural world.
No, they're
Are
not.
they really?
no,
In
it's
its
not.
natural habitat, the
any
vacuum
example where there's a
chamber's
natural
very
vacuum?
strong.
Yeah, we find them like they dig up vacuum chambers regularly. Like, oh wow, we found another
Sorry.
vacuum chamber.
There's a study
Amazing.
of people like David Bellamy that go out and see them in the wild, isn't there, Dawn?
So you think when someone makes a vacuum chamber, oh, that can't be studied by science because it's not part of the natural world? Or do you think it's interesting to study that type of thing?
I don't know what to say.
That silence, that moment of silence, was the sound of 4 people on the chat all shaking their head at the same time.
Yeah. It makes me
I'm
proud.
just really surprised here at the whole double standard of it all.
Shut
That
that door.
if we question the ball, then science is used in full to account for it all, the consensus, everything. But then as soon as we actually get into the scientific method, the same ballers will actually question the most fundamental proven scientific proofs. It's
So Can I
such a
ask?
contrast.
I'm just having a laugh because he made a list. So I've got a troll who's now telling me how to debunk number 1. I think they're Googling number 2 now.
yeah, but hang on. You've claimed that number 1's been debunked, and I'm calling for the evidence that claims that
There's a
number 1's
video
been
there in
debunked.
the chat. It proves water can
Right,
boil
share your
low
screen.
temperatures at sea
Let's do
level.
it. Let's do it. Let's see what you're claiming as a debunk, because you guys claim debunks really easily.
Yeah, it's not mine. I'm just passing it on. So.
But
but you've
it
claimed
is
it
true
won't-
that
you
in
claimed
a
it won't.
vacuum
You can't-
scenario, water will boil, yeah, at a other temperature. But that's because the conditions are very unnatural. That's what a vacuum does. It's
This
not.
is a flat Earth
The
show.
scientific method
This is a flat
based
Earth
on
show,
the
right? And
regular
this is the bottom of the
situation of a
barrel.
natural environment.
Let's not do this, Arwin. This is the bottom of the barrel. We've reached
Ah,
the
sorry,
point where,
it's
I don't
just
mind. We
people
have to
like
do it. I was only playing.
people like
Nice.
the Rumpus, who claim to be smart, have come on and said the whole body of science supports this, and then only days later have said you can't prove anything with science. Now, the reason for that is simple. They cannot prove the Earth is a sphere. Proof of Earth curvature is never going to be in your midst, Zorn. You're never going to have it. All you're going to have is your pathetic belief.
Right, let me ask a silly question. The general consensus is he who asserts must prove. But if science can't prove anything, does that mean that you guys can't prove that the Earth's a ball?
Yeah, that's precisely what it means. They can't prove it.
No, Dawn.
I'm sorry.
Come on, you heard what I
You
asked.
are.
I didn't. I was just concentrating. Sorry.
You were listening to Discord in the background.
Try and
No,
listen
I'm not
carefully,
listening. I
Dawn.
was
This
reading a
might
message from a
actually
girl on
help you
Discord.
make
Right, so
progress
if-
in life.
If the position is that he who asserts must prove, if science cannot prove anything, then you guys can't prove that we live on a ball, correct?
Listen, I'm surprised that the word proof is now under discussion, to be honest, this long
I've been,
into
arguing,
this
I've been
debate.
saying that for the last hour.
I haven't looked up the definition myself, so I'm not going to argue that.
I understand the difference. Evidence isn't proof. However,
Right.
the key pieces of evidence can be proof. Now, it depends on the strength of the evidence. A lot of evidence isn't proof.
Sorry,
It indicates.
what was it the Merriam-Webster
No,
said
but
again?
the whole
Sorry,
thing about
I just want
proof
to
is
hear
that
that
it
again
cannot
from
be
the actual
falsified. That is
definition. It
what makes proof.
furnishes proof. Evidence furnishes proof. It's not
Yes.
equal to.
And real proof, what really defines proof, is something that cannot be falsified. It cannot be disproven. Then you have proof. If nothing contradicts the proof, then you have the proof. Right?
Yeah, QED. Quod erat demonstratum.
He's listening to Discord again.
I'm just running out of things to say, sorry.
No, you haven't. You're being
Yeah,
fed
I
in the
bet you do.
background.
I'll turn the screen off, sorry, so I can't see Discord.
Let me ask, who's feeding you in the background? Is it Chris?
I'd rather have Dawn's attention at this pinnacle moment where
Yeah,
we've
sorry,
got.
I'm here now. I'm here now.
Yeah,
You're not getting Dawn's
I want Dawn
attention,
to
are you?
have
You're
this
getting
hammered
Dawn
home.
listening to Discord.
I kind of just joined because Timmy was talking, and then when he left, I thought, oh shit, now it's just me.
That's
you don't
good.
have to
We're not,
stay.
we're not
He
going to
asked
hammer
here
you
as
over the
well.
head in that regard.
He knows more about the word proof than I do, because
What do you think proof means, Dawn? I think we all inherently know what proof means. Forget the looking it up. Just tell us what you think proof means.
Well, I thought it meant the evidence is enough to say, yes, that's how it is. That's what I thought. And I haven't looked it up, but recently the words come under discussion, isn't it? So
Only because
science
you can't prove.
anything.
Only because you, the Globers, can't prove Earth is curved. That's why it's under question.
It's not that.
Don't question your own sanity. Don't let these wankers pollute your brain. They're toxic, Dawn. That's my point, right? You inherently know what proof means, yet you're prepared to question it because someone like the Rumpus has come along and said the word proof is questionable.
I hate the Rumpus. So I don't know. I don't compare him to me.
Well, this is the problem that he's brought up. He's saying that proof, well, you can't have it. We can't prove we're not brains in jars. You can't prove you're not Neo plugged into the Matrix, Dawn, right? Do you buy that?
It's strange Globers are now saying that after all this time. Sorry,
Yeah.
Science isn't that good.
Nice,
can't
isn't
prove
it?
anything.
Nice that we're in this position. Why do you think we're so smug?
Well, I don't know what to say about it. I don't know the definition.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
I'm not surprised, Dawn.
There's enough
I'd be
evidence for me to have
dumbfounded too
faith
if I
in-
was
in the
behind
shape.
their argument right now. I'd be a bit dumbfounded. I'd be in
I'm
a
not
bit
a
of a
scientist.
daze if I was a Glober right now, going, "What's going on? I don't really get it. Can't we
Oh,
prove
come on,
that we're on a
give Don
sphere?"
break. He just said that he did not really agree to the Rumpus in this case. So give him a little
not
break.
in any way do I agree
But
with
to
the Rumpus
spell it
ever.
out how it really is supposed to work, proof is basically a system, a statement that cannot be falsified, while evidence just points at something to be true, but doesn't necessarily have to be proof until it is absolutely evident that it cannot be falsified.
Yeah, you
Then it
collect the
becomes
evidence
proof.
until you're happy with how much you've got. And
No, that
how,
only
how-
qualifies. No, Dawn. No. All that does is qualify as a belief. Your belief in this instance.
Yeah, but when there's enough evidence to back up your belief, some people call that knowledge.
Yeah, but
You
a
call
lot
it
of
what you like,
evidence
mate.
doesn't make proof.
I know we call it what we
Non-falsifiability
like, yeah.
makes
Yeah, you
proof.
can call it whatever you want.
Some people call it a fact, don't they?
Yeah, you can call it that if you want. If you
A
want to call it a
consensus is
fact
a
and
better
believe
word.
it, that's fine. If you want to believe that.
Until it can no longer be falsified, it may be a lot of evidence, but it's not proof.
I have trust
how about
and faith
how,
and
how about
knowledge.
what?
And it all
Sorry,
adds
I
up.
stepped on you. How about what yesterday? The rumpus during yesterday's video, he said there is no such thing as scientific proof. Then 1 minute later, he said, "Well, the whole body of science has proved it."
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was amazing. Yep.
He did. He did.
So there you go.
Called doublespeak, Dawn.
Do you know what, Nath? Do me a favor. I'm going to share my screen. I'd like you to show what I've got on screen, and I want Dawn to give me an honest answer. Allow that.
Got to be a bit nicer to Dawn. He's on his own at the moment.
No,
Yeah,
you're
give him a
cool. I
break.
can
He
handle it.
at least doesn't adhere to Rumpus's statement, so that's something. It's worth something.
If Rumpus says a fact that I agree with and I also believe, then obviously I agree with him. But I don't agree with his approach at any time. And
All
this
right.
new science can't
Start.
prove anything thing. I'm willing to accept that if you want. And people say, okay, you just have so much evidence that it becomes a fact, but it's not proof. I don't really care what the definitions are. So
Yeah,
P.
but
Mars can probably.
To assume that it's a fact just because of all the evidence, that's also not. It's not correct.
You can't argue with that,
How
really,
can you-
Alwyn.
hey,
If he wants to stick
how
his head
can
in
you
the
be on
sand.
your- I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if he wants to stick
I'm
his head
not
in the
sticking
sand
my head
as
in the
well,
sand. I've
that's
been
up to
looking into
him.
the alternative model for over a year.
Nath, can you see my
Oh.
right? So Dawn, the word the rumpus or the word rumpus means a noisy disturbance or a row. You've seen how rumpus behaves in the back chat when Nathan's chatting, and basically he literally speaks over and over and over, and you and I can hear absolutely nothing of what's going on.
Yeah.
Would you agree that it seems to be an uncanny coincidence that the rumpus seems to be rumpus by name, rumpus by nature? A noisy disturbance.
Yeah,
or
I'm
a
happy.
row.
I'm happy with uncanny coincidence.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
just find it
coincidence there.
irony that it's the exact characteristic that he presents us with. It's almost as if it's been given to him by with a
There's
name.
lots of uncanny coincidences in this world.
Yeah,
Hey,
definitely
I
there is.
got a question. I got a question for him. Does Dawn? Are you listening? Are you getting information from somewhere else, or that? What's going
I
on?
get
What's this
when they
discourse?
hear your points and they think I'm not dealing with it properly. I get a few people saying, "Oh, tell them this, tell them that." So most of the time I ignore it, unless it's something that I would think of myself if I was, paying attention
Here.
to Google and stuff.
Can you ask him this question? How many
I could, but
licks
that's a
does
bit
it
weird.
take to get to
There's
the
plenty of
center
people
of a
here.
tootsie?
Can you help me out, P. Mars, please? You're here. Come on, mate.
No, I got a question you can ask him. Maybe you'll get some answers. This would be really interesting. Here's the question. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll pop? True or false? See what they say.
I'm
How
sure
many
they'll
licks
find that.
does it take to get to the centre of a Tootsie Roll pop? True or false?
What was the question? I missed the first part of it.
How many
licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll pop? True or false?
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie what?
That's
Like
a
Tootsie Roll
question.
Pop.
That's not true or false. It's a question.
Yeah, I think that's the point he's making.
A question is not true or false. Only a statement can be falsified. Very weird.
It's a malformed question, man.
Yeah, it is.
I did that on purpose.
Can I just say though, Dawn,
Shocker.
Dawn, with regards to Rumpus, I was quite impressed, surprised, and amazed that he actually had not acknowledged that there was something on the horizon that was optical, that was obscuring what we see.
Right.
That's usually described as the curvature, but he actually acknowledged it for the first time, and I was quite impressed that he was honest enough to acknowledge that it was there. And he's
Right.
apart from Sly, he's the only one that's ever really acknowledged it was there. Everybody else has called it the curve because the horizon drops, it obscures a bit. We can't see stuff at the shore, like the beach. Alex, Earth. But he was the first one that I've seen actually admit it and accept that it was there. I don't want to give the word.
Well, we all know there's effects at the horizon because we've all seen little mirages and stuff, haven't we? And we're not stupid, and we learn stuff in school that water vapor does stuff. But no one really considers, oh, hang on, stuff going over the curvature is affected by a phenomenon, an effect.
Yeah, but if I
have
said
to look into it deeply if we really want to understand it.
if I said to you that horizon effect was what you guys claim is the curvature, and the P900 brings it out because we can zoom right in on it, that would make a lot of sense, because there does appear to be things on the horizon that are obscured that you guys claim is curve, i.e., where's the beach?
Well, Chemo was saying it today. Globers say boats go over the curve, and I was trying to like change it and say actually most normal people think boats go over the curve. Globers now know they go over the curve eventually, but some of the effect might not be down to the curve, and you might be able to bring it back with a zoom.
Most people in the Western world are globers.
Yeah, but globers are people that have looked into flat Earth and actually put effort into talking
Nah.
against it, aren't they?
Globers are people who believe they live on a globe.
Okay, well, call us ball tards or whatever then, and globers are normal people.
Dawn soldiers.
Well, no, those are red pillars.
Red pills, red
Yeah.
pillars.
People who take the red pill. You
Let's talk
are a
about
red
red
pillar,
pills.
if
I
that's
like
what
that
you want to be termed,
conversation.
because you've been given the choice, you've shown all the options, and you've basically told us right here, right now, that you're prepared to accept your own belief. Fine. But that means you've
There's
taken the
more
red pill.
evidence. I can switch beliefs. I'm like, you know, I'm not stuck in beliefs. I'm not a dogmatic person. But I've seen spherical Earth from space. All the
No, you
things
haven't.
Timmy mentioned earlier: the sun,
When did
the
you
moon,
see?
the stars,
Okay. When did you
obstruction,
go up to space, Dawn?
curvature.
When
I've
did
seen
you?
many
Hold on,
things.
Dawn. When did you go up to space?
Oh, don't ask me that again. You know what I mean? Pictures from space.
Sorry, just so we can correct the audience. You, me, P. Mars, John, Arwin, none of us have been to space.
There is many pics from
Not
space, though,
physically,
online.
anyway.
Oh, there's pictures of Godzilla too. Do you want me to go through a
Supposedly
few?
from space.
I've got pictures of Godzilla. Do you want me to
Yeah, but
show
the
you my
trouble is,
pictures of
you
Godzilla?
don't have
Nate.
pictures of flat Earth from space. do you,
Pictures of
at all?
Santa.
So
Do you want my
Nate,
pictures of
can I
Santa?
I feel
Nate.
more comfortable believing in a spherical Earth because there's pictures of it.
Yeah, I
Nate,
know it's very comforting to believe
Nate,
in that.
But obviously,
Earth
it's
from
not just the
space.
pictures. There's all the other things I mentioned.
Nate, can I just say that Dawn realizes that 2 planes can't cause 3 buildings to collapse? He's on the first rung. He's realized that that's not quite what happened. We don't really know what happened, but we know what didn't happen.
So yeah, I'm going to probably do a link at that point. So we've got about an hour left on this live stream. I hope you're all enjoying the debate thus far. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and a link in the info box below the video once it has rendered. But most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show, as this increases the live audience, and that in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. There is approximately 1 hour left on this live stream.
We could talk about red pills one day.
You're a red
No,
pill.
to be honest, I think it's a fair move forward that that Dawn realizes that 2 planes didn't
Well,
cause
that
3
was
buildings. to collapse.
2001, right? Give me credit. It's
Oh, that's
17
a
years
term
later,
too.
and I haven't
So
moved
it's
on to flat
purple.
Earth, have I?
Purple pillar.
No,
Then.
but you also
9/11 changed my life.
You
But
also realize that there's not a Tesla Roadster floating around space on his way to Mars listening
I
to
realise there's a
Bowie.
possibility it's not.
Right,
Hello,
but you also
SB,
realize
how you doing? Hold on. SB
yeah.
Alga, can you say hello? Hello, good to have you.
Oh,
It's a real person.
This is a
I'm
real
sorry.
person.
That might have been me.
Oh, did you kick him out? Oh,
Yeah, I did.
Got to give him a chance. These new people will join and never join again if they get kicked immediately by us.
I know, but they do have to speak, and we do have an active attack from Chris MCM. He's basically said that he will keep doing it unless you guys sort out your differences. So I have to be a little bit more cautious, otherwise I get
Right.
kicked.
So what he's saying is, I'm going to attack your show until you let me back on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Piss
exactly
off.
what he's saying.
Piss off, Chris. I'll ban you every time you come in, mate. Don't like the show, sod off.
His message was, and he actually told me to tell you this. I never told it you because
Before you do, don't tell me. I'm not interested.
Who's commenting
Don't
there?
even tell me. Don't even care what he said. Don't tell me.
High altitude footage proves the curve. No, that's fisheye lenses. That's definitely
All of them. I
fisheye
think they're all
lenses.
fisheye lenses, Owen.
No,
Every single
there's
one.
yeah.
No,
there's
not
high
all of them, but
altitude
the ones
balloon
that are
footage of
used
the
by
curve.
NASA,
God, and
they
the
are.
globe
Yeah.
circle jerk
Sorry,
begins
wait,
again.
you don't think they
so
ever
we've
do
got
it
to the
without
end.
fisheye?
This is it. We've got to the end. We're at the end of the road. There's no proof, lads. So what do? We swing right back around to the beginning and start talking about bloody fisheye lenses and looking at the top of space. Right?
Well,
Is that what we do,
this
lads?
argument's circular, Nathan,
That's
you know
what
that.
we do we? Is that how long the concession lasted? You can't
That's
prove
exactly.
you live on a sphere, lads. Do you get
We
it?
tried,
Exactly.
Nathan.
Yeah, I know
You-
you tried. You all tried so hard to prove that you lived on a sphere. You tried. And what do we have at the end? Are we going to loop back around that quickly? What we've got at the end
the
is
idea
your
that science
pathetic,
can prove things is a myth.
pathetic belief. That's all
Nathan,
you
let's
guys
go back to
have.
your proof of curvature
A
then, if you want.
pathetic belief.
What's wrong with beliefs?
Nothing's wrong with beliefs. It's just pathetic if you want to think they're real and assert that they're true.
I tell you what's wrong with beliefs. Let me tell you what's wrong with beliefs. If people go
How do
around
you
and force
believe
their
anything,
views on
then?
other people, that's a problem.
Correct.
So you just have no beliefs?
No,
No.
I just accept evidence that we
We
can
just
prove
don't
stuff.
force
Well, you
our
believe
beliefs.
the Earth
We
might not
don't
be a
force
globe.
our
I don't
beliefs onto
understand
other
this
people.
like
Pete.
logic of not having
We don't
beliefs.
force our dogmatic beliefs onto
Beliefs.
people, like spinning ball religions. We don't force them onto people. You do.
No,
Why
no
do you
one,
think the
no one
other
forces
factor-
the belief of the sphere onto people. People just realize it as a sphere through their own observations.
No, they think they know
You
it's
try to
true, and they think it's proven scientifically, and they think that pictures of space are real. You've just said them in the last 5 minutes. We got pictures from space, therefore space real. No, you've got a belief. That's all you've got. It's a religion. Heliocentrism is a religion.
So what?
Backed up by science.
Not backed up by
So what-
science, Dawn. This show is a testament to it. You've accepted it. I'm not just going to allow everybody to loop back round, start talking about fisheye lenses. We're gonna dwell on this point. We're gonna dwell on it for a while. You guys can't prove Earth's a sphere. You can't. We've gone down the road. You've
Can I
asserted that
talk
you
about
can prove
proof
it.
of curvature again?
You've
Nathan?
asserted the whole body of science backs this theory. But when it comes to shove, when push comes to shove, you can't prove it. You'd
But
rather
the idea
have
that science can prove things is
solipsism
a
rule.
myth, Nathan.
We can't
And-
even
and how do
prove
you
we're not in the
justify
Matrix.
Your negative connotation towards religion and beliefs.
P-Mars, can I ask why you say that? Because it's really... I struggle with
Yeah,
the
what's-
idea
what's
that
wrong
science
with
can't
global
prove
belief?
anything.
What's wrong with
I read
worshipping?
an article about this myth that people believe with this idea that science is set out to prove things. It's not.
What the?
But
What
what-
on earth are you talking about?
This is getting
What the
really
world,
crazy here, guys.
Mars?
He hasn't heard the list.
I
It's like
just-
we've
I just
read
gave
it,
you a present.
and he's gone la 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 la. It's unreal.
What?
It's
You're-
like you've gone
you're
la la
whistling
la la
past-
la la la, while the list of things
Yeah,
that
he's-
science has proven has been read out twice.
But science? No, but that guy doesn't know what he's talking about, and none of everything that guy says is a lie. So
What? What? Seriously?
he's a
Are
liar.
you serious, P. Mars?
Why would I have to respond to lies now? Like, what the hell?
What are you talking about?
Who's lying?
I don't know what he's going on about. It's just like assert that someone's
You're
a liar.
losing your mind. P. Mars is losing his mind.
Yeah, I
These
don't get it.
experiments can't 100% prove anything because they can't
Right, come on,
observe
let-
every
let's
atom.
keep
No,
going.
Let's
no,
keep going.
it can
Not only
prove
that,
things.
the laws of physics
Because
are
you can't
subject to
falsify it.
change.
You can't falsify
Just
that
because
water
you drop
doesn't
something
boil
100
at
times
100
and
Listen,
degrees
falls
listen.
Celsius.
down
Hey,
100
Arwen.
times doesn't mean
Hey,
the
Arwen, just let
101st
him
time you
whistle
drop
past
it,
the
it won't fall
graveyard.
up. It's
That's
not
all he's
100%.
doing. You're just whistling past the graveyard, P. Mars. That's all you're doing. I just showed it twice. I showed it on the yesterday's video. My word, sir.
Will never change, which isn't true, as Don demonstrated how they change in a vacuum. So
But you are
that's why you
changing
can't
the
prove
variable.
things, because they assume that the laws of physics will never change, and they can change. Like, we don't
Do I
know if
have
the
to
laws of physics will
explain
be
this
different
again?
today, tomorrow
This is
But
than
just
they are
the
house
today.
effect
price is humble.
is
They
not
put in that
based
addendum
on a
where it's not
vacuum.
100% proof.
So P-Mars, let me
100,
ask.
100,
Science is
200%.
humble.
Right?
P.
There
Mars,
you go
like-
again.
P.
Go
Mars,
ahead,
to
go
be
ahead.
honest, with the whole boiling of water situation, you could add an addendum that under different pressure
It
circumstances,
doesn't matter. It
that
still
effect
relies on a
changes. But the thing is,
presupposition that
in
the laws of
regular
physics will
pressure
not
at
change,
sea
which is
level,
not true.
that is the undeniable, unfalsifiable case. That is proof.
It relies on
But
false
yeah, in a
presupposition.
different
If you
pressure
do
situation,
something,
yeah,
you
it
can't
could
prove it.
work differently. Doesn't change the fact that under sea level normal circumstances pressure, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius.
Hey Tim.
You can't falsify that.
Yeah.
And that's why it's proof. That's why
You've
it's
just
scientific.
changed the
The
scientific
idea
proof.
that science can prove things is a myth that you guys have fallen for, and I'm sorry, but you know,
You're
you guys
getting
gotta just
really
do
soliptic
more,
here.
educate yourselves, read some articles on the topic, like I have.
Yeah. You educate yourself. What in the world?
Educate
Where's your education at?
Come on. No need, Tim.
Out of-
Come on. No need.
What you
No
got,
need.
Forbes magazine? Let's hear some scientific evidence from Forbes. My word, people.
Word.
Well,
Can
this
I
is a
ask-
guy that says that evidence is proof because they're synonyms in Merriam Dictionary. So
Well,
anyway, Nathan, I did want to say, what are you really defining as a religion? Like what definition are you going on that the heliocentrism is a religion?
It's
Well, if it
belief
can't
without
prove
evidence. That's
anything-
what a religion is.
A belief without proof, rather.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I asked Nathan, but everybody else but Nathan responded. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So is it the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods? Is that what
No,
you mean by
that's
religion?
theism. That's not the same as a religion.
No,
Theism
that's
is
actually
the
the first
belief
definition
in
of
an
religion.
all-controlling deity-like figure or individual. And atheism is the disbelief in that. Religion is something else. It's the belief without proof. It is trusting in something that you don't know for absolute certain.
Where are you getting this definition from? I think you're thinking of faith, and that's a really poor definition in and of itself for faith. But so the
Faith
first definition
is
I just read out.
synonymous with religion. Belief without evidence.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
But there
check
is
the
lots of
American
evidence.
Heritage Dictionary, 1991, Tim. Anything else?
There's lots of evidence. So it's not a
So, yeah,
religion.
there
Where's-
is lots of
by
Where's
that
Tim's
evidence doesn't
scientific
equal proof,
evidence
by the way.
for his spinning ball religion?
You guys like to use it in a derogatory term, and really, it's kind of funny coming from a religious man.
We
It really
want
is.
scientific evidence
is.
for your
Oh, I want-
religion, Tim. Go.
Scientific evidence? Let's just go with
Scientific
evidence,
evidence.
observational evidence.
Your
How about
religion.
that? Or is that
Yeah,
not good
let's
enough
forget
for
the
you?
scientific bit. Science doesn't prove anything, right? Wrong. Yeah, science does prove things. That's why we're asking for scientific proof. Science, Tim, study of the natural world. The world is what we're talking about, my friend. So to ask for scientific proof of it isn't really that unreasonable.
So I guess
can
we
call-
should just
we can call it
agree to
proof
disagree
if
on
we
this
want.
whole thing.
Oh, should we just agree to disagree?
Agree to disagree. This isn't a
we're not
subjective
just going to
subject,
agree to
Tim.
disagree, Tim. No,
Let's
no,
agree to
no.
disagree.
What we're going to do is
Let's
rub it
agree.
right in your face, mate. You've got no proof
Let's
of
call
your
it
religion.
proof, Nathan, for you
No
guys.
proof
Even though that's
of your religion. None. No scientific evidence to back your religion.
There's two. Well, I already asked you. What do you mean by religion?
Yeah, they've
You
just
didn't
gone
ask
over
me.
it.
Oh
It was
my
fun.
goodness.
It's funny that this has hit a nerve. I like that.
what do you mean? What do you
I
mean
like
by
that
I don't
it's
religion?
hit
really
a
care.
nerve.
Just
A
be
flat
up-
That
earther saying
amuses
that
me
I am
greatly.
religious towards Helios is kind of funny. But like, what do you mean by religion?
views without evidence or belief.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking the person that goes silent every time I ask it.
Oh, it's just nice to see how triggered this has got you. Nice
You're
that it's hit a
accusing
nerve.
us of being religious,
What do-
but you're
I-
not
what do
explaining
you
what
think
you mean
religion
by religion.
means?
That's
Tim,
all it is. It's
what
just
do
a
you
bait
think
tactic
religion
for
means,
it to be
Tim?
triggered.
Do you
This
think
isn't a
it means
debate. This
the-
is just
the,
an entertainment show to trigger
Oh
people.
yeah, of course.
Are
No,
upbeat.
I'm
it's
not
not
trying to
an
trigger
agenda,
anybody.
like
I'm
it-
stating it as a fact. Yeah, you've got a religious belief.
What do you mean by religious belief?
What do you mean by religion, please?
What do you
Can
think I mean
define
by
that term?
religious belief, Tim? What do you think I mean?
Do I worship the religion of the sun or something? What do you mean?
Certainly seems that way.
Okay,
No.
well, so you
Your
seemingly
religion
have a
is the
religion, then
belief,
you
the
should say, I
assumption
guess.
of how outer space and the planets and the sun are supposedly there in that concept. That is the religion. You have no proof for it, but you assume it. based on
Let's ask you a
the
question.
evidences that
Simple
you
question,
assume
Tim.
are proofs, but you can't prove them. Really?
Do you believe in the heliocentric system?
I have a justified belief that it is the
That would be a yes. So let's break down the word heliocentric. What is Helios?
sun.
The sun. The sun is the sun. I asked what Helios was.
Why are you asking me what Helios is?
Are you thick? Let's just break down what you are a believer in. You are a believer in the heliocentric system. Let's break down that word, shall we, Tim? It's not that difficult. What is Helios?
I'll Google
We're
Helios.
at the centre of it, right? So what is it? You're just going to laugh at me or you're going to answer me? I'm really
That
rubbing
wasn't
your
even me
face in it, Tim,
laughing.
and I'm enjoying every second of this, just to point that out.
I'm not going to take abuse from you. If you want me to
Sod off
chat
then.
with you, I'll come on and chat with
Sod
you.
off then.
'cause
Can I
I've
answer,
known you
Nathan?
for a while.
Welcome to leave, Tim, while I rub your face right in it, you little coward. Sod off with your tail between your legs then, you little coward. You don't want to take my abuse? Yeah, you've got a religious belief. You've got a faith. I'm a believer. Well, good for you, mate.
Oh. Heliocentrism is basically.
No,
it
I'm not
comes
done. I'm
down
waiting for an
to that
answer.
everything
I'm waiting for an
circles
answer from
around
Tim.
that
What is
giant
Helios, Tim?
sun globe,
What is
the giant
Helios,
globe
Tim?
of
That's what you
fire.
believe in, so let's get an answer. What?
I never said that I believe in Helios because
You
it's
said
the
you
Greek,
believe in the heliocentric
Greek
system, and now
mythology.
we're breaking down what you believe in. You are a believer in the heliocentric system. Now I want to know what heliocentric means.
The Earth
So
goes
what
around the sun.
is
Helios is a Greek myth.
Why are you just constantly talking? You're doing the rumpus's little trick, Dick Brain. Can't you answer a simple question?
I already did, but you're talking
What
over me.
is Helios?
So the heliocentric. Oh, okay, let me answer then. If you're just going to keep asking it, so the heliocentric system is the Earth.
No, you're just stuttering like a buffoon. Bit like Rumpus when he's got his toes to the fire. Funny that.
You
We'll
can't
break
trick
down
me, dude.
heliocentric. What is Helios? I know what centric means. So what's Helios?
I read you the
Yeah.
definition, Nathan.
Shut up,
Greek
Dawn.
mythological
Shut your mouth, Dawn.
personification of the sun.
No, the sun is the sun. I'm asking for what is it? The fourth time.
I just
What is Helios? Are you deaf? Seems like all you globeheads get hearing problems when I ask a really direct question about your religion.
do I need to say it again?
If it's
In
an answer
Greek
to the
mythology,
question, what is Helios? Yeah,
Greek
that's the
mythology,
question.
personification.
Let's just say it again while he talks, yeah? While you talk over me, Tim, I'll make the question really clear, because I love rubbing your face in it. It's fun, very fun. What is Helios?
Can I answer? Helios was one of the titans in Greek mythology.
Oh, a god!
Well done.
Well
That was
done!
just what I was
So
about to
you've
say.
got a religion, haven't you, Tim, you pathetic little worm? Fun it's been to hold your toes to the fire and point
Nice,
out your
unbelievable.
religious belief. How fun it's been to point out that he worships a god. Yeah?
Unbelievable.
You think you were clever
creature.
with your funny little textbook definition from Wiki, first entry from the dictionary? Oh yeah? You do worship a god, Tim.
Do you not like the definition, Nathan? Or
Shut up,
So
Dawn.
heliocentric
You're
and
out of your
Helios are
league
two
here, my
different
friend.
things.
Tim's having his
I
toes
don't
held
even
to the
know what he's
fire,
on about.
and I'm really
Nice
loving every
confessions.
second of it.
Absolutely mental.
Yeah, I'm loving holding Tim's toes to the fire about his religious belief.
You're nowhere near doing that, Nathan.
Yeah, I
You're
am.
deluded.
Believe you me.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
We've
Sorry,
established
mate,
what Helios
Helios,
is.
the
So
Titan
Helios
on fire
Why
at
is
the
a god.
center of the universe.
He's a god, right? And he's at the
It
centre of
is.
your world that
Yeah.
you believe in, isn't he, Tim?
A
Find
god
this
is
funny.
the
heliocentric
personification
and
of the
Helios are
sun
two
in the
different
Greek
things. Can
mythology.
we agree on
Sorry,
that?
it's not the sun-centric system, it's the heliocentric system, Tim. Right? That's why
What
I
does helio
established
mean?
what Helios was, and it didn't come up with an answer sun now, did it? Yeah?
What does helio mean? What does helio mean?
Yeah, we've gone through what Helios is.
No. What does helio mean?
Why?
Relating to the sun.
Oh,
Helios is a Greek mythological god.
Right.
So you're
So you've got a
strawmanning me.
god at the centre of your system. We've gone through this. We're going to play a bit of semantical games now, are we, Tim?
Helio
Oh, have you found
is
this
related to the
definition from
sun.
Forbes? so that your religion's not a religion?
This is really silly, Nate.
It's not silly.
What are you
It's
doing,
a fact.
dude?
You came in and asked me why I called it a religion. Now I'm telling you, there's a God at the centre of your belief.
I never said that.
No.
Yeah, you did. I asked you if you believed in the heliocentric system.
It's not heliocentric system. It's heliocentric system.
Now we're going to play
That
a
is
game of
kinda true.
semantics now.
Yeah, but it is
Well,
based
you
on
were playing a
Helios.
game
That's
of
the whole thing.
semantics, saying that heliocentric system is what I believe. I believe that the Earth goes around the sun.
Yeah,
Words have
That
meanings.
is what you
can look them
believe.
up, you know, Nathan.
Jesus. Helio means relating to the sun. Centric obviously means that it's the center of the freaking solar system,
Why
dude.
does
You
helio
just lost this.
Why does helio mean relating to the sun?
I don't know. Go look it up.
No, I've just looked it up. I'm asking you. We can play this game all day
Did
while
I
we
make
Google
it up?
search things with this semantical game that essentially leads to the same place. A god, Tim.
Do you want me to say it, Nathan?
No, I
Some
want you to
people
shut
do
your mouth.
worship the sun.
the
as a
god
want
of
you
the
to-
like
pantheon.
pagans and that.
It's based
But
the
that's
whole
not what-
planetary. All the names of the planets are based on the Roman god system. That's the whole thing. The Romans, they invented the helio system. They invented the planetary names. They basically
So
stuck
geocentric
their deities
is quite
on the
obvious.
planets,
Geo-
and that is how the
Words have meaning,
heliocentric system came
right?
into being. They
Right.
invented it.
So when you say helio is the sun, no, the sun's named after a god.
No, it's not heliocentric system.
Not
It's
named after a god.
heliocentric
For
system.
God's sake. I've just asked you what helio means.
Relating to the sun.
Right, and where did the sun get its title helio from?
I don't know.
Right.
You
Well,
don't
we
know.
do know.
Look
We've
at
just
that.
told you. It's the name of a god. How many times do you want to go round this circle?
What are you asking which came first? The god Helios or the sun?
Oh, Dawn.
Or
So
are
the
you asking-
etymology of it is from the
Like-
Greeks. Helios meaning the sun.
Do you have a problem
So-
with the Greeks seeing the sun as a god?
No.
That was actually
I've
my
got a
first
problem
answer
with people
too.
who have a religious belief asserting it like it's got facts and science backing it when it's actually a religion. That's what my problem is. Tim's come on and said, why have you called it a religion? And we've explained.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere.
No, clearly
'Cause
not. Tim doesn't
semantically
like
say
it.
that
It's
it's-
piqued his
20 minutes,
interest.
Nathan, for you
He
to
doesn't
answer that
like it
question.
being called a religion. Not one bit. That's why he's here, Dawn.
No, actually, that was the last thing that I heard, and I just wanted you to clarify because you guys like to use religion as a derogatory
Tim, it's
term.
not-
even-
No problem. So we've clarified it. It's a religion. You happy?
It's very simple. Science, the science out there, has adopted the Roman religion and used the names of their deities to name the planets that are out there.
So was
It's
Geo
not
a deity as
coincidental at
well?
all, is
Is
it?
the geocentric
Big,
system?
big whoop.
Hallelujah.
So it's just a pathetic attempt to trigger people, dude.
Not at all.
It's
It's,
really
a fact.
silly.
You've got a religious belief. How many times do I need to say it? Do you still
It's not.
dispute
You
this?
believe
Are we
that
gonna
the
go,
Earth is
should we go
flat?
around the circle again, Tim? It's fun. The
Do you
audience are
believe that the
enjoying
Earth is flat?
it.
No,
No,
I know
your
the
religious
Earth is
belief in
flat.
a spinning ball.
No,
Do you
I
believe that
know
the
it's
Earth is flat?
Yeah, let's not establish that. We've done that for about
Tim,
150
you believe
shows.
that the planets and the sun and the moon
Okay,
out
so you
there
have
are
a
all
belief that the
physical
Earth is flat. I'm not
bodies,
making fun
and
of you
you
because of
assume
that. I'm
that
actually
just
chatting
because you
with
know
about
the
it,
angular
but you wanna attack
relations and the
people.
patterns of the heavens, that all
kinda
of
sad,
this stuff is all literal physical objects, just as big and bigger as the Earth, and you assume all of this. That is a religious belief,
Yeah, that's
because you
sad.
can't confirm
We
it.
see that as sad, Tim.
Okay. We done with that then?
Yeah,
Have we
man, if
gotten
you're
all of our
cool
little
with how
trigger-happy
sad and
shit out
pathetic it
today?
is that you just believe this stuff.
Yeah, I have a justified belief. You believe the Earth is flat without a justified belief.
What's
Nate.
your justification? What's your justification, Tim?
They listed
I've
earlier.
already gone through it. For 3 years, I've gone through it. Okay, you've
Oh,
never
3
come onto
years. I
any of
didn't
my
hear one
videos and said
in 3
anything
years. Why
relevant.
don't you state
Why?
one reason why?
I don't need to. Do you? I actually
Oh,
would
that's
prefer
right.
not to.
All right.
Yeah,
well, this
because
is
you
it. That's
don't
the
have
problem.
any.
You're just a religious clown.
No, not at
You're-
all. This is
You're
the problem.
calling
We've
me
asked.
religious?
We're at the part of the show where we're asking Globers to say, prove the curve. We've come on, we've presented all sorts of different things which Globeheads have gone through with a fine-tooth comb. Now we've said, okay.
Yeah, you lied
we've-
about evidence.
Well,
You
we've had a
lied
couple
about-
of years. We've had maybe 3 years to start acquiring a bit of proof as videographers and people of various different jobs that aren't necessarily of any scientific background whatsoever. We've had 2 or 3 years, and here's what we've got. Now let's see.
Nothing.
Now let's have a little goosey at what 2,000 years of belief in a spinning ball has acquired as scientific proof. And you know what? There's nothing.
Nothing. The internet's only full of it.
No, full of it, full of shit. Yeah, full of shit. There's no scientific proof of Earth curvature. There's no proof whatsoever of your spinning ball religion. That's all it is.
It's
a
full
religion.
of mathematical fairy tales and lovely, lovely CGI. That's what
Some
it's full
Except
of.
you see obstruction wherever you
Presuppositional
go.
mathematics.
Fancy that.
That's all you got. Presuppositional mathematics and fairy tales.
Presuppositional mathematics. That's
Correct.
hilarious.
The presupposition being that you live on a sphere. So your mathematical equations to calculate the Earth as a sphere automatically assume it's a sphere. Did you not understand that part of the show a few weeks ago when we went through a presuppositional argument?
Nathan has a sunset on the screen, just to remind you all.
Yeah, with the reflection coming to your feet, Dawn. Where's the curvature in that picture? Yeah, you can laugh your head off, mate.
It's a good
Simple
laugh, isn't it?
question. There's a picture
On a
with
ball,
a
a reflection of light in the distance should actually look like a ball.
It's going to go behind the Earth. You can't explain
Have you
it.
ever seen the light
Yeah, you
from a
show it
lamp
on every
reflected
stream.
on a marble? Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, you ever seen
What
the
you
light
see
on a marble
is
come
a
to your
little
feet, Dawn?
ball.
Yeah?
You don't
does that
see
normally
a
happen that way?
straight bar from the distance towards yourself like you do right here.
Yeah.
When you look at the light reflecting on a little marble, you see a ball. You see a little light ball
That sun's
being
gonna go
reflected on.
behind the
That's
Earth,
not what
mate.
you see in the real
No
world.
explanation at all
So
for
guess
it.
what? It's not a ball.
It's pitch black where I am right now. No explanation for it.
It's not.
You have
pitch
to
black,
invent
really.
a lampshade under the sun. A theorized lampshade.
Yeah, this is it. This is back to, might as well be talking about fisheye lenses.
And you're saying we've got a belief.
Yeah, you have got a belief. I don't mind going over
So
this
do you.
100 times. We're going to dwell on this. We're going to dwell on this for
So
a
do
couple
you.
of shows.
Do you believe in the theorized lampshade, Nathan?
We're
Under the sun?
talking about your belief,
No
right?
man has no belief.
Now, my belief
period.
has not been backed by science, has not been investigated by science, and has in fact been renounced by science, according to you guys, for 2,000 years plus. Because
Yes.
there's been a firm assumption that you're on a ball. Yet, what we get in terms of evidence is told, first and foremost, what we can do to prove it to ourselves going forward. And then we're told the entire body of science backs it. Then we're told science doesn't prove anything. Why? Because you can't prove it.
Well, to be
Do you
honest,
believe there's a
Nathan,
backside to
the
the moon,
science
Nathan?
of
Do you
the
believe
ball,
that?
so-called, has started up 2,000 years ago, but it has officially been denounced during the Renaissance. So it hasn't been denounced that long, because during the
Why
Middle
don't we ever see
Ages,
the backside of the moon
as
on
we
flat
are
Earth?
told, we still believed in a
What are
flat
your
Earth.
beliefs
So
on that?
I don't care about the moon. I'm not going there. I'm it. It's in no way tangible.
Can I just ask, Dawn, do you believe there's a backside to the moon?
Yes,
Why?
because that makes much more logical sense.
Right. Do you
Than
agree
a,
that
ball,
Have you
than a
ever seen
hologram
it?
ball in the sky.
have you
I
ever
agree,
seen
it
it?
makes
Have you
logical
ever
sense.
touched it?
But
He
the
said it
absence
makes.
of evidence
Hold on,
to
hold
prove
on a
it's
second.
true.
He said it makes logical
We
sense.
see
Post
spheres
the
everywhere in
syllogism.
nature.
Post the syllogism. You said logical sense. Post the syllogism that the moon has a backside. We'll wait.
Maybe you need to explain to him what a syllogism is, because otherwise, yeah, we might have a very long wait. You just don't know.
No, we're going to
Even
have a
if
long
it's the
wait.
inside
He
of the
said
ball,
logic.
why don't
He
we
brought
see
it
it
up. I'm
on a
not going to
flat Earth?
explain it to him. Go look it up.
Do you have a
Right.
belief about why we don't see the backside?
It's just
Well,
going to ignore you, John.
let me give you some evidence, Dawn, that I want you to challenge critically, and I want you to tell me whether it's a fair comment in favour of flat Earth or not. Nath, would you mind sharing my screen, please?
Sure.
I believe it should be this one.
How about
Uh,
Rahu? You believe in Rahu?
No. So this is a video that
Before you
Phuket Word
do,
put out the
shout
other
out
day.
to SB Algar for the super chat. Sorry, I didn't see it go by. I'd have thanked you when it did. Thank you very much. Anyway, sorry, you continue, Anthony.
How about special fog only on Lake
Hang
Pontchartrain?
on. Go
You
on.
believe in that?
Wait.
Yes, good one.
Go on. Stay on topic with me. I
Okay.
asked you if you believe there's a backside to the moon, and you kind of said, yeah, of course, it's logical and reasonable. And I agree, it is. But it would only be logical and reasonable.
Assuming
if
that
the
it
front
is
of
a
the moon-
ball.
Wait. It would only be logical and reasonable if the front of the moon that we see was lit up like this ball, because this is a ball that Phuket Word shows. And the ball that he shows, he goes all the way around it, and the light from the camera lights it up with a heat spot that we would expect to see from the sun if the moon was really
Yeah.
spherical.
I'm not
It's a
really
very
interested in
reflective
comparing
ball,
it to
dude.
balls. Do you know what I mean? I see it
No.
in the night. I can look
I
up
would
and see the
agree.
actual moon.
If
What
the
a
moon
trick,
looked
How it lights up. I grant you, it looks beautiful. Quite magical.
If our moon looked like that, I would agree with you. It would be logical and reasonable to believe there was a backside to it, but our moon doesn't light up like that, does it?
Well, what is that thing?
It's a ball.
What type
It's
of
like a
ball?
glass ball with like a light inside.
No, that's the light from the camera, I believe.
You
But
believe?
the thing is, this is a shiny. The moon is more opaque than that, dude.
Opaque means light cannot pass through it, and we believe the moon is opaque, so it's of the same consistency when it comes to opaqueness. That wasn't the right word, Tim. Do you want to try again?
What type of light is that that's reflecting off it?
It's a light. It's the sunlight.
Hmm.
I would agree with you, Dawn, that if the
They're
moon
lamps,
looked
dude.
like that,
They're glass lamps with a light inside. What Tim said.
What a joke, dude. That's so misleading, man. Do that on a rock or something.
Jeez.
but the point that
Get a somewhat spherical rock. Look at that. This guy is so misleading. Man. What a
That's not a really
joke.
good example.
But,
when it,
but it's the same. We see the same thing, even if it wasn't lit from the inside. We see the same thing if you put a focal point of light on the moon.
I'm sure that's totally the same.
Wow.
You would see the moon looking spherical, and we do not see that intensity of light. So I would agree with you that logically
Even if I
and
accepted
reasonably,
that, you know, it's not changing what I think about the moon in real life, mate.
yeah. But
Even if that was a normal video and not a joke.
if the moon looked like this with a focal point, a concentration of light at some angle to it, then I would agree it would be logical and reasonable. But we don't see that on the moon. Therefore, it isn't logical and reasonable that the moon would have a backside to it.
Well, even Nathan admits that there's libration. You can see more. It's not just a flat disc up there.
Yeah, but we can explain libration, right?
I don't know. I mean, of course you can explain anything away, dude. Of course you can. It doesn't mean
No,
that it's the truth.
We've modeled libration. I can show you. If I showed you libration on a flat plane, it's an equal and 50% likely that it can be the way I'm about to show it you. Hopefully, I'm going to find it now. Nathan, do you remember what number it was?
It's actually called libration on a flat plane. It's got a different thumbnail, makes it a bit easier to find. Should.
It should be on the other one then, shouldn't it?
On both.
I just wonder on kind of like a psychological level, what will happen when and if you guys ever figure out that the Earth is indeed a sphere and not flat. And you've done this to many people that have tried to come on, and you take explanations and ad hoc fallacies as replacements for things that are already basically known to the public.
That's a very good question.
I mean,
if that
how
were the
stupid are
case,
you gonna
Tim,
feel
then
that
all
you're showing
of the
sunsets
observations and
continuously
proofs would
That
have
are
to
absolutely impossible?
retroactively adapt to actually fit that. So I don't think that's going to happen, really.
I mean, I'd like to actually answer that. You know, you guys are basically saying, when you guys figure out that it's a sphere.
Hello.
when and if.
Hey,
Yeah.
Shroom.
Screw me.
When you guys figure out that it's a sphere, well, I categorized this earlier. We always seem to be being told how we can figure out it's a sphere going forward, and yet there's been 2,000 years with absolutely no proof.
We say going forward because you've been rejecting everything so far.
Sorry,
Flat
what
Earth
have you
was
got,
the belief
Dawn?
before the
What have you
spherical
got?
Earth, so you have more
What have you
time.
got? What have you got? So you're saying I've rejected something. What have I rejected now? Sorry?
Well, how about sunsets?
Sorry,
showing us
did you
Oh,
not...
God.
Hi,
You will.
I forgot Can't
Are
hear
you
guys.
Will?
That's
Brenda, how you
that's
doing?
trans
Good to have you, Brenda.
Don't kick
Can
her.
you hear
you
us?
Will?
Or him.
1 second, 1 second. Hi, Brenda. Can you
Don't
hear
kick
us?
Brenda. She's been trying to
Don't
get in
kick
the hang.
Brenda. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hey,
Thank you
Brenda.
for being here. Good to have you.
Nathan, you
Ah, I can
reject
hear you.
all the evidence given to you.
We've rejected it for reasons which were disclosed at the time of rejection.
Right, yeah, I know you got reasons, but you're rejecting all the evidence that contradicts your belief.
No. We've asked specifically for something, which is proof that adheres to the scientific method. That's what we've asked for. And given that science is a study of the natural world, I would expect that yardstick to be absolutely applicable in this instance. Prove
There's
the
mad people
world.
now.
Prove
I
the
disagree.
world is a sphere with science. What does science look at? The natural world. So proving the world is naturally a sphere is definitely right up the alley of the
Do you
scientific
always
method.
talk like this?
So,
Do you always talk
I'll
like
ask you again, Nathan.
Do
What
you
type
always talk
of
like
proof? Let's call it proof. Even I don't care if that word's wrong. What
Yeah.
kind of proof do you want? I know you just want proof of curvature.
Am I
Well,
literally?
we want proof
am-
that's not falsifiable, that
Yeah,
we can actually
It's like I've said it,
not
and it's been
disprove.
completely ignored, Darwin. I don't get it. So, we've got this thing called science, right? What is science? It's something that studies the natural world. So, what are we talking about here? We're talking about the world, and whether or not it is curved, right? So, what should we use to define this? What should we use to prove this? Is there anything that defines the world? The natural world? Oh yeah, there is, yeah! Science. And what does science use? It uses the scientific method, Dawn. So what I want is a proof of Earth curve that conforms to the scientific method. That's what I'm asking for.
Can I
And
suggest one to you and see if you like it?
Go on.
There's the guy George H. Hatunuik or something his surname is.
Yeah, I've spoken
He's
to George.
He's old. and
George,
he's out on
I've spoken to George, a pretender clown who likes to believe in pseudoscience. Yeah, we spoke to him on Steve's show. Pretender clown, I
Nathan,
think, would be an accurate
Nathan.
term.
Nathan, we're going to count that out, yeah, without me explaining to you what he's doing.
I've spoken to him.
So you're not going to accept that type of proof?
Well, I know what his experiment was.
Hey, Nathan, hold on a second. Yeah, let's let you explain it. Okay, what phenomenon did he observe?
Oh my god.
My point is, he's out on frozen lakes now, trying to give you what you want, even though you're on
We
stream
want
saying you're accepting
scientific
it.
evidence. You have to give us what phenomena he observed, the alternative hypothesis,
Curvature.
the independent and dependent variable, and the null hypothesis.
Which
That's
one?
Do
the
that for your own
They're
scientific-
saying
flat Earth
curvature.
nonsense,
So,
dude.
which one did curvature fall under, Dawn?
George is not someone I think's cool. Like, he's going out there as a mental person trying to prove curvature.
Try and open your ears, Dawn. You've just been given a list of things that are required. You've blurted out the word curvature. So, which one of those things does it fall under? There's a list that's been given you. Which one is the curvature part of? Is it part of the hypothesis, Dawn?
I don't understand the question.
No, we know you don't understand
They're
the
just
question.
going over the scientific method as if they do it themselves.
Let's just explain that again for Tim. So, what is science?
Oh, no, again.
what you just keep saying that word like it means something.
What's your independent variable about 1,000-foot
Does
wall
mean
water
something.
blocking a lighthouse, Nathan?
Yeah, you seem to have completely ignored me. I'll ask it again. We're trying to find out something about our world. So,
Okay.
what is
Yeah, you're a hypocrite.
science?
Oh, okay.
What's science?
Oh, you're a hypocrite? Oh, okay. That figures. Cocksucker.
Hey,
Is that
what?
really
No,
what the
get
best
off.
Tim's
Kick
got?
him out of here.
Ah, he's run away.
Oh.
Ah.
Well, that was he didn't.
Ah,
run.
he didn't want to
Science
answer.
is
Anybody
a
else
word.
on the panel want to
Science
answer my
is a
question?
word.
What's science? Anybody?
It's the
It's a
application
word.
of.
It's the word, motherfucker.
Go on.
So
It's-
George is testing refraction, but he's also doing curvature tests because he told me. But You're not going to accept it because you don't respect his
No,
work.
we're gonna accept it. Here's what we need from you. We need step one. What phenomenon did he observe? Number two, we need the alternative hypothesis. Then we need the independent and dependent variables, and then the null hypothesis. Go ahead and share his screen, Nathan, and let him write those out for us. We want to see them.
Seriously, Dawn, can you write that down?
What?
Did you not just listen to what was just said?
Ah, here comes the troll circus.
Yeah, man. We're getting to the point where George Netanyahu's being cited as a proof of Earth curvature. Pretty sad.
Oh, I'm saying he's out there doing it. If you're interested,
Doing
I
what?
don't care.
Doing what, Dawn?
There's all kinds of
No,
proof.
let's get it pegged down. What's he doing? No, we're nearly there. We're nearly finding out what the experiment is. What's he doing, Dawn?
Right now, he's doing refraction and drone stuff with Soundy, but
Doing
he's also done
refraction.
curvature.
My God, this is it's like talking to. He's doing refraction.
Conversation's hard, Nathan.
Can you
It is
hear
for
me
me
now?
as well. It is for me too.
This is useless. Doing refraction.
That's what he's doing right now. Yeah.
Doing refraction. I'm doing. You know what I'm doing right now? I'm doing red.
What?
I'm doing red. That's what I'm doing. Red.
Red,
R-E-D.
please.
I failed
R-E-D.
to
The
understand.
colour. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing the colour
Big
red.
mini color red, please.
Is that George? George?
There's the George.
Ah, here we go. Got George on.
All right, let's go.
No, man, you can.
George, say hello.
Can you hear us, George?
You muted them.
No,
It probably wasn't
George.
him.
Wasn't George. It was a sock of George to boot out a few of the guests. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So why are
Saved
you so
by the
angry
bell.
lately, Nathan?
Because people come on and assert that things are real when they are not, namely Earth curvature, Brenda.
Well, I've been gone. I've been gone for a few months, and it just seems like it's an angrier kind of hangout than it used to be.
Yeah.
It's more vivid, that's for sure. But that's because
Well,
we
what-
learned a
what-
lot.
what-
What
We
is the big-
learned a
what
lot.
is
We
the big thing that
learned how to
David back
deal
again?
with all the machinations and all the strange things that you do to just
So
spin around and
well,
deflect and all of that.
so what are the things that are
There's a pocket
the
in
most
my pocket. There's a pocket in my
contentious
pocket.
then? Okay.
Sorry, did you want to say
What is it that is most upsetting then?
nothing's upsetting? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I noticed that too. Brenda,
What?
like a really hostile
Fuck out of
environment.
my
you
head.
It's
know.
really angry. That usually seems to me that the person is afraid.
Pocket in my
No, I
pocket.
think you're
Pocket.
mistaking strictness for anger. We're just being
Yeah,
very
you're-
strict. Nathan
you're
is holding your
mistaking-
toes to the
Okay, well,
fire, and he's not
what is-
taking crap
mistaking
anymore.
Contempt
Well, he doesn't
Contempt
really want to take
for religious
ordinary
zealots,
words for what they mean.
pretender clowning science. They're talking about their religions and then putting science on it. That's
What are
why.
you talking
It's
about?
contempt.
You don't know what science is.
Oh,
Science
yeah,
is a
right.
word.
I forgot
No,
more
we only
science in
spent at
junior
least
high
half an
than
hour
Philip
spread over
Phil.
the hangout.
What is it? Wait a second,
exactly what it-
Farwin. Who is this? Brenda?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
You know
Brenda.
what she told me 2 years ago? She told me that DNA is made of proteins, and she's telling me I
It's
don't know
amino
anything
acids.
about
Yeah.
science.
That's fine.
Yeah, she thinks
That's-
corpuscular rays are parallel as well, man.
Yeah, it's
They are.
tantamount to Pol
They
Pot
are
charging the Dalai Lama with genocide. My word.
So
I like
what is
that.
the
Trying
problem?
to burn her with parallel
science?
corpuscular.
What is the problem with science? You think science is a religion?
No, we think that heliocentrism is a religion. I think that the
Oh.
assumption of the outer
why
space
why
and
do you
how
think
that
it's a
works
religion?
according to the heliocentric model is a religion. Because you don't have any
What-
proof for it. You just have a lot of
Well, we have
assumptions,
proof
and
for
you
it.
have a model
Chris?
that accounts for the angular relations of the heavenly
Arwin,
bodies.
I'll be interested in this. What you got?
And
What you got,
that's it.
Brenda? What you got?
What do you mean?
You said you got proof. Let's see it.
Yes. Parallax.
What, a lack of it?
Parallax.
Parallax of what, Brenda?
parallax shows that the Earth revolves around the sun and not the other way
Evidence,
around.
please.
You can look
What
this up.
evidence of parallax do you have, Brenda?
Parallax is the phenomenon that if we
I know what it is. I'm asking you for the
we
evidence that it's a
photograph the
thing.
sun, we mark the position of a nearby star, and then 6 months later, when the Earth is at the other end of its orbit, you take another measurement of where that star is, and it will have changed.
Wait. You said orbit. How do you
Yes.
know that it's orbiting?
That's
Where's
how
your-
you test
You're presuming
theories.
that. You're begging the question.
No,
Of course
that's
it
how
is.
you test theories.
That's how you beg the question.
No, that's not how you test theories. Theories don't become scientific theories unless they are tested.
No,
you got
the
the
theory
wrong
came.
emphasis on the wrong syllable.
She stepped over
No,
the bit
no,
where she begs the question. Do you understand that you beg the question?
No, it's not begging the question.
So, what you have done is said, when we go around in the orbit and are on the other side, so you're automatically assuming you're in orbit, right? Retard? That's called begging the question, assuming the outcome. That's what you're doing, Brenda.
No, I'm not. Let me explain. Can I explain?
No, can you
The
provide
theory-
evidence?
No. Let her.
The Copernicus, the theory of
No,
Copernicus.
Copernicus. We want to see the phenomenon that was observed. Number 2, the alternative
You have to let
hypothesis.
me talk.
Number 3,
You have
the
to allow me
independent
to
variable.
speak first.
Number 4, the dependent
The
variable.
point
And number
is
5,
that
the
Copernicus
null
came up with
hypothesis.
his
Let her
theory
go.
of the heliocentric theory before we were able to show the
That's not a
phenomenon
scientific
of
theory.
parallax, which is considered evidence for the
Heliocentric
theory.
theory
That's
is
how
not scientific.
that's how you do
John,
it. The theory,
I want to know what evidence Brenda has
and then
of
the
parallax.
evidence tends to either
I'll let you go.
confirm or disconfirm the theory.
Brenda,
That's how it works.
What evidence of parallax do you have, please? Can we see it?
You can look this up. I'm not an astronomer. You can look
What the
this
hell are you
up
doing?
on-
You've come on the show to tell us that
You've made a
parallax
claim.
proves his curve, and then you're telling us we can look it up. Put it on the
Yes.
table.
You
No,
made
you
a
can
claim,
look it
Brenda.
up. Just
He who
look it up,
asserts must
parallax.
prove.
Go
How
look it
we-
up
how we-
yourself, or get the hell off the show. What is your malfunction? We are asking you to prove it to us. If you
I
don't
just
want to
did.
prove it, go away.
No, you
I
didn't,
just
Brenda.
did
You
prove
made an
it.
assertion only.
Yes, well, I can't show you
Right.
the
That's a
output
problem then,
of
isn't
a
it?
telescope here on Google Plus. I could point you to a astronomy page that would explain it to you.
You do that. Let's
But
see
you
you
can
do
do that
that.
No,
yourself.
I
You
don't
go
want the
to an astronomy
page to explain
page.
it, Brenda. I want the evidence
Thanks,
that
Dawn.
proves
See you
that there
later.
is parallax,
Go ahead
please.
and look at it. Show some initiative and look
No,
for it yourself.
you're
It's
the
not
one that
hard
makes
to
the
find.
claim. You've got to provide the evidence. You
No,
know
I'm
how
not
it
going
works.
I'm not going to. The
So
point
your
is
assertion can be dismissed
that
without any
parallax-
evidence.
assertion then, completely. Thanks for
No, it's not an assertion. It's evidence.
An assertion without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. Brenda, you know the score.
Find the evidence, just like for everything else, you have to look them up either on the internet or in textbooks, or we go to
no evidence
universities
means that
and
your
look in the
assertion can be
telescope.
dismissed.
Yeah, I totally
Next,
agree.
please.
Yeah, next, please. That's the best you've got to come on and say, if you go out and look it up yourself, you'll be able to prove it. Oh, wow. What a crap evidence.
Restart it.
Well, you need to actually
look at the
look
model.
for it.
Just look at that model that's based on all these angular relations and the assumptions that how it's supposed to
show
be
the
out there,
desire
and that's the
educate
evidence.
yourself and to confront or to question your own theories. That's what it means to be an intelligent human
What
being.
we're doing, you daft cow. The theory that we all stand under currently is that we live on a bloody sphere. What do you think we're doing here?
You believe that the Earth is round?
No.
Okay, then to be intellectually honest, you should be willing to question your belief.
I am.
And
So
do
intellectual.
That's what
and
we
do
are
that.
doing.
You do that by
You aren't questioning anything. You're saying you can go and look it up in a textbook. I can't believe my ears right now. This has been one of those shows that has left me almost dumbfounded with the level of stupidity that Globers have demonstrated to us. It's laughable, it's comical, but literally she's telling me that to go out and do investigations by looking it up in a book.
well, there's other ways too.
Yeah, we can just listen to some theory of some guy in a white coat.
Yeah.
I can't believe she's agreeing with me. I just can't believe this. She's literally just agreed with me. Okay, yeah, we can go out and trust the word of a man in a white coat. But that's what us, the flat earthers here, aren't doing. We're doing precisely the opposite of that. What you're doing is taking as read whatever you're told. So long as consensus agrees with you and it's been presented by a man in a bloody white coat.
Accepting facts as presented in a textbook isn't blind faith.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. No, it isn't.
It is.
That's not
Yes,
blind
it is.
faith. It's
It's
a
a blind
rational
faith,
belief.
Brenda.
You're
Let's
reading
get
it in a
Let's
book,
Get Brenda a
and then
textbook
you are
on
assuming that it is
Godzilla.
correct.
I'm
Brenda,
sure there are textbooks out there on Godzilla and the validity and truth of Godzilla. Let's present that to Brenda and have her quote back chapter and verse how Godzilla's
Show
real.
me a biology textbook that has Godzilla.
Yeah, I'm sure there's biology textbooks of Godzilla, man. It's a massive, massive deal out there. So yeah, there'll be people in there that have dissected the organs of Godzilla, believe it or not. Yeah, I will be able to, with enough time and a translator, be able to find you that, believe it or not.
There are none. There are none.
So you assert, and I can just assert, like you have done, that there are definitely. You just have to educate yourself and go out and look for them. If you were prepared to educate yourself on Godzilla, you would absolutely unequivocally find that there are biological textbooks. You're just uneducated.
I have a PhD in Godzillaology.
There you go. Shroomi's on the panel.
The
We've
point
got a
is, you don't
PhD
understand
scientist
the
in
difference
Godzilla, Brenda. He's got a
knowledge.
white coat. He's got a really shiny white coat. It's been done with biological biz, so you can definitely trust him.
You're so
What?
you're so worried.
You
And
want to-
So you're just so stuttering. There's been quite a few of them on recently. Stuttering
You're
globehead
afraid.
morons. You're
why
one
are
of
you
them.
so afraid lately?
I'm not afraid of anything. I'm holding your toast to the fire.
That's what this-
Let's
that's
just
what
let's
I'm
just
afraid,
turn my light
Brenda.
on.
We're winning.
Let's just
This
turn
is
my light on and
We're
show the audience
winning.
just how afraid
Who's
I am, right?
afraid.
This
This
is
is
my
how
afraid
somebody
face.
who's
This is
afraid-
my terrified face, right?
Your dad's going to get heavy fucked up. Your dad's getting
So-
terrorised, mate.
We can go back to the fact is the difference between faith, which is belief without evidence,
Yeah, that's what you've
and
got.
knowledge,
That's what we've
which is
established on
belief
this show here,
based
Brenda.
on-
We've established that you have a belief without evidence. Yeah? Even though you've got this thing called
You
science,
got that right.
a study of the natural world. Yeah? You've got this thing called science, and yet it has no proof of your spinning ball religion.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. Otherwise,
Sure.
we'd have had it presented
There
to
are
us, and we
multiple-
haven't.
there are
What you
multiple
have
proofs.
presented is absolutely nothing like scientific proof
Well,
of
I
Earth
didn't-
curve,
I
Brenda.
didn't
Let's get
cite-
that clear.
I didn't cite parallax as proof of the round Earth. It's proof of heliocentrism.
Oh, wow. You want to push it that far? Bold claim.
Yeah,
Nathan?
it is.
Brenda has just said that there are many proofs. Yeah, PMars before said that there was no proof. So which is it,
Yeah,
Brenda?
he's
Is it
correct.
that there is
He's
proof or
correct.
that there's not proof?
When is the next split off meetup? When's the next split off meetup? I like to go here.
PMars, I disagree with him in many ways. He is correct that there is no such thing as formal proof in science.
Right.
However,
Well, you
no,
just
there's-
said
let me explain.
that there was
Put
plenty of
acid
proof.
on
Let me
formal
explain.
proof. Get it.
There's the colloquial or common usage of proof, which simply means exceedingly good, evidence or demonstration sufficient to convince an ordinary person. That's not a proof, but that is how it's used commonly. It's just
Well,
like
did you not just
theory
say
in
that there were
science
plenty of
different
Is
proof?
than
ordinary person
theory
a synonym
will
for
use-
an informed person?
We can't define an
Theory
ordinary
in
person.
science means something very specific, and theory used by ordinary people just means something you
That's right. We're not
So-
talking about that.
And
You
So
don't
which
even know what
context were you
scientific
have
using then
method
when you,
specific
Brenda, which
meanings,
context
and
were
they
you
have
using when you
common
said that there were
usages.
many proofs?
Yes, there's many lines of evidence then, if you wish.
You didn't say that though. You
that
said proofs. You said there were
demonstrate
many
and
proofs.
corroborate the theory that the
Brenda,
Earth
you didn't
is
say that though. You
ball
said there were many
and it
proofs.
revolves around the sun.
Which context were you using the many proofs when you said it a minute ago?
I was using it in a colloquial sense.
Right, so there's
in
no
the
proofs
sense,
then.
in the sense that proof being evidence that is undeniable.
Yeah, it sounds like you're struggling there a bit, Brenda, with your words.
No, I'm not, honey.
Yeah, you are. You're using words in a common colloquial sense, but actually you should be using it in a scientific sense because there is no proof of curvature, Brenda.
Sure there is.
No, there isn't.
What is
There
the proof?
is undeniable
the Greeks
proof
did it.
of
The Greeks did it
the
2,600
angular relations
years
of the
ago.
globe of the heavens
Greeks
in
did it.
relation
Oh,
to the
brilliant.
position
Hold on,
on the
Arwin.
Earth.
Hold
That
on.
is
Hold on.
undeniable.
Hold on, Arwin. We've got
Because
another one.
everybody can
Just a couple of things to
confirm
clear up. So Shroomy asked when the next flat Earth mixer was. So we've actually got
Yeah, 'cause I'm
the UK
gonna come back.
convention. So the UK convention's coming up on the 27th, 28th and 29th of April in central Birmingham. Tickets are on sale at www.flatearthconventionuk.co.uk. So go and buy a ticket, Shroomy. There you go.
You know what
Those
I
are-
really like? You know what I really like is the website, the YouTube channel, Space Videos has been running a live hangout for a long time, showing that the Earth is in fact round and proving it. Hour
Round or
after
spherical?
hour.
So I'd just like to point out that there is a 24-hour Godzilla Watch channel, and that you can see Godzilla in all his glory, and therefore Godzilla.
Yes,
There's
absolutely
also
real.
a 24-hour
they're
Santa
great
one at
books.
Christmas.
They're
Yeah,
fun.
you've seen the 24-hour Santa one, have you, Brenda? Because that one
That's
is
called
very,
fiction. There's a
very,
difference
very real.
between fiction and reality.
Yeah,
How do
the
you
globe
distinguish
is
between
reality, is
fiction
it,
and
Dawn?
reality, though, Brenda?
Brenda.
Yes.
Brenda, how do you distinguish between fiction and reality?
Well, you use the scientific method.
Right, that's what Nathan's been asking for weeks.
Well,
Use your brain.
it's not hard to figure out. You just look it up.
You're right, it isn't
Scientific
hard. If
method
there is
is
no
I-
science
you
to
start
prove
with-
the assertion,
start-
guess what?
Hold on,
I
she's
was going to
she's
explain it to you.
conceded. We need
Why-
something
why-
that
why do you need to-
conforms to the scientific method, right,
The scientific
Brenda?
method is it starts with observations. You
No,
form a
no.
hypothesis.
Observation
You test
of
a
phenomena.
hypothesis. You form a theory, and then you
Observation of phenomena, not observations. Observations of phenomena, not concrete nouns. Phenomena. Get it right. Start over.
You start with observations. Yes, that's what I
Of
said.
phenomena.
You start with observations. You
No,
start
it's
with
like
observations.
when we say we want
Yes.
proof, and you guys say, well, we can give you evidence, and it's like, no, we're not saying proof and evidence are the same. Scientific evidence is akin to proof. That's different, and you're now doing exactly the same thing.
No, scientific evidence isn't proof. Proof is a mathematical concept. Science is
Mathematics. Proof and okay, I'll give you a mathematical proof. 1 minus 6 is -5. That's a mathematical proof, right? Show me -5
No,
apples.
it's not. That was not a proof. That was an equation.
Yeah, but it was maths, though, and a lot of people accept maths as
Right.
proof.
Yeah, but Riley, you can't even do your sums.
So it would be handy, right, Dawn?
So what's your answer?
Dawn. Sorry, Brenda.
How do
It'd be
you-
handy
Wait,
if we
hang on.
had... We're talking about the world and its sphericity, right? And science is a study of
That was pretty
the
funny,
natural
Brenda.
world. So therefore,
You can't
we
even
could
do your
safely
sum.
assume that this yardstick we are asking for, the scientific method, is a reasonable yardstick, right?
Science isn't so much a yardstick, it's just a method.
Right. And the method that we would like you to present, having taken place in the last 2,000 years, would be one that has adhered to the scientific method.
Yes, that would be the original experiment conducted by the Greeks.
Finally,
The
we got there
Racines.
again. So can you present
was-
us, first and foremost, the hypothesis?
That's the
I don't know what
alternative
you mean.
hypothesis.
The
Go ahead.
hypothesis was he
Yeah.
wanted to measure whether or not the Earth was curved. He
Okay.
measured the sun the shadows
That's
of
not a
Earth by Sun at one
hypothesis.
location and then at another location. And he did a little bit of trigonometry, and he calculated that the Earth was curved and how round it was and how big it was.
I've got John saying that that's not a hypothesis. So why isn't that a hypothesis, John? Can you lay it out for us?
Yes, it's not a cause and effect question for one. And what's the independent and dependent variable?
It's like you learned these new words and you think they apply everywhere.
I learned these new words. Yeah, I learned them back in 5th grade. And you don't even know them. Do you know what a scientific hypothesis is?
No, go ahead. Tell me that.
A scientific hypothesis is your experiment statement. It expresses a testable proposed cause and effect relationship, the phenomena that was observed in step 1. It's a classic if this, then that. So it also contains an independent and dependent variable. From Penn State, the scientist applies his or her present knowledge to predict the effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable. The prediction is a statement of the expected results of the experiment based on the hypothesis.
If the Earth is round, then the measurements of the shadow cast by the sun at 2 different locations will be different.
So if the Earth is round, right, that's your independent variable. Can you manipulate the independent variable?
And the difference can be used to calculate the curvature of the Earth.
What is the independent variable in your hypothesis?
Where's Robert Bassano, man? Where's Robert Bassano at?
Yeah, right. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. But let's get back to her hypothesis. Because you're stating that the Earth is a sphere. The Earth is a sphere, right?
Do you know the way? Do you know the way?
So that's your cause and what you vary and manipulate, right?
Do you know the way?
Do you know the way? I know the way.
Do you know the way?
Sounds like you're sucking a dick. Shut up.
That would be your mom's.
So,
hey, come on.
I've got rid of the troll. So
I already gave you what a hypothesis is. Your independent variable was the spherical Earth. That is inane. It's not a viable scientific hypothesis. It's not a viable independent variable. Try again.
The hypothesis is that on the Earth, on the assumption that the Earth is round, we would expect
round or
the
spherical?
shadow cast. We would expect the shadow cast at 2 separate locations to differ.
So what's the cause?
The curvature of the Earth.
So is that a cause of your effect?
The curvature causes the shadows cast to be different.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not only affirming the consequent form of logical fallacy. Give me the null hypothesis, please.
On the null hypothesis, if the Earth is flat, then the shadows would be identical.
You can't, that's not a null hypothesis. You changed the independent variable.
Can you just lay that out?
It's the no cause. Do you know?
Can you summarize it? Because I've got about 30 seconds left, John. So if you can just summarize.
Yeah. I don't think I could do it in 30 seconds. She said her independent variable was the spherical Earth, but independent variables, you have to vary and manipulate them. Can anyone vary and manipulate the Earth? What is it, by telekinesis?
I think that was fairly succinctly done, actually. So with that rather concise debunking of total nonsense from Brenda, I will say first and foremost a massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you've not done so already, be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!